Barrel Titor is the name of Suzuha's dad, so let's find out what's going on here. Let us find out. I open my eyes to a deep scarlet sky. On my back, lying face up. The sky is vast and the color ominous. I've never seen it like this before. Where am I? I sit up. There's nothing here. The wasteland stretches to the horizon. Nothing but rocks and dust as far as the eye can see. No plants, no water, no sun, no moon, no warmth, no cold. Not a single breath of wind. It looks like hell. A frozen world. It can't be Earth. Mars, I believe. Why am I here? This must be a dream. I give up thinking about it and lie down again on the sand. I guess I'll wake up soon. I should just wait until then. I wait, but the dream shows no sign of ending. If I've ever had a dream this lucid before, this terrible ringing in my ears that keeps me awake. I realize that it's the sound of silence. My belongings are gone. I have no watch, no phone. The lack of motion numbs my sense of time. How long have I been lying here? It might have been only a second. It might have been 3 days. An epiphany. The concept of time is a human construct. The universe at large has no use for it. Time is a cage that we created to feel secure. Within its walls we can forget our own insignificance. I'm thirsty. It hurts to breathe. This void is no place for a human. We're not strong enough to live in a world without time. Tears fill my eyes. What do they mean? I no longer know. I want to die. Yes, let's die. But what is death? To be frozen in time? Time stopped for me long ago. How can I die in a world that is already dead? Everything inside me is crumbling away. Who am I? I can barely recall. My soul is melting into the void. Is someone there? Anyone? Something moves in the corner of my eye. Impossible. I try to move my eyes, but I've forgotten how. Ajukrin. A pleasant voice silences the buzzing in my ears. It reminds me who I am. Intro. This time, my eyes move. There's a girl sitting on a nearby rock. I recognize her. My frozen brain comes alive. Her presence breathes new life into this dead world. Mayuri? My brain is still half asleep, and I cannot speak. It's Mayuri. Shina Mayuri, my oldest friend. She smiles at me, swinging her legs. This is the Earth, you know. 70 million years ago. Some scary people sent you here in a time machine. This is a dream, right? Mayoshi went looking for you and found ocarins from many worlds. You're one of many ocarins, and also the original. Mayoshi is one of many Mayoshis, and also the original. And now, Ocarina and Mayoshi are going to die. This is a dream, right? Mayuri? But I know that another Ocarina and Mayoshi will pick up where we left off 70 million years in the future. So everything is very okay. This is a dream. I jerk awake on top of the sofa. My body is drenched in sweat. It was a dream. I must have fallen asleep sometime around noon. What a horrible nightmare. I guess that threatening email I got is still weighing on my mind. Still, Mayuri had to save me. Even in a dream, that's unacceptable. I'm the one who saves her. That's the way it should be. Besides, Mayuri's not smart enough to talk about time travel like that. I sit up and look around the room. She's right where I expect to find her. In front of the TV, watching a Rainet Kakuru DVD. On the screen, the Upa riding Kakuru's shoulder is screaming something unintelligible. I wish I had an Upa. Look at her sitting there all spaced out. The area needs my protection. That dream was wrong. I chug a Dr. P and check my phone. No new emails. I sent Titor a mail several hours ago, just to make sure that he really isn't Suzu's father. Just hasn't replied yet. Obviously, Dara and the others don't know that I changed the past. I guess I'll answer the call from Ferris since nobody else is calling. Or texting. This is Jumpman Kyouma. Nyan? Is Ferris Nyan? Oh, it's you. Hi, Romeo. Yeah? Who's that, yeah? I could have sworn her real name was Akiharu Miho. Don't tell me. Could the D-mail have changed that too? Ferris is Ferris, yeah. I don't have any other names, yeah. Yeah, right. Your true name is Ferris. My apologies. Of course, she's just being her usual self. Well, what is it? If Ferris is calling me, it might be about the IBN 5100. She did promise to help us find one. You've been too conspicuous, yeah. The cat's out of the bag and now you're trapped, yeah. Huh? More Ferris's well, rather usual nonsense. The 4 Guardian Kings have awakened, yeah. There's no escape, yeah. Is that so? If you think the 4 Guardian Kings can stop me, just wait and see. Akabal will be drowned in blood before nightfall. After the 4 Guardian Kings are the 4 Guardian Queens, yeah. After that, it's the 8 Devils, and then the Black Angel 12, yeah. That many? What's going on in this town? You've really stirred up a hornet's nest, yeah. I'm sorry, Kyouma, but this is checkmate, yeah. No, it's not over yet. If I can just acquire the item, I can turn the tide. Have you still not located the IBM 5100? Sorry, Nya. I have agents looking all over the world, but still no luck, Nya. What? So she has no progress to report? Please hurry. I'm running out of time. Okay, Nya. I'll tell you as soon as I find one, Kyouma. Until then, hold on to your 9 lives, Nya. Yeah, I can't die yet. Il Sai Congre. She hung up before I could finish. Damn it, that's why I hate talking to Ferris. Anyway, moving on. This time around, my search for an IBM 5100 has gone poorly. Actually, I suppose I should consider myself lucky for having found one so easily the first time. I mean, the IBM 5100 is practically an urban legend. There are people like Mweka who spent months searching with no success. Last time, it barely took me 3 days to reach Yanabayashi Shrine, almost as if something was guiding me there. It was fate. No, it was the choice of Stein's Gate. That's why its loss is so painful. Guess that's why they call it the Phantom PC. Daru is sitting at his computer, like always. I read on that channel that some collectors will pay millions of yen to buy one. IBM 5100s are serious businessmen. They have that high a premium, then people must know their secret. They're all after the data in CERN's mainframe. I don't get it. How come they're so expensive? I mean, I guess they were pretty expensive to begin with. Looks like one cost about 20,000 back in the day. $20,000. That is expensive. Anyway, I can't believe it's so hard to find. Sure was a nice machine for its time, but only for its time. You'd have to be crazy to want one now. Maybe it's one guy buying them all up. The harder something is to obtain, the stronger the desire for it becomes. That's how people are. That's exactly how I feel now. In the depths of CERN, completely isolated from the outside, lies a database coded with an IBM 5100. What secrets are sleeping there? Could it contain the data from CERN's time machine research? Could there be proof that the Committee of 300 exists? The desire to know grows stronger by the day. It's not just about plunging the world into chaos anymore. We need the power to oppose CERN's evil ambitions. And then there's that threatening email to consider. Dara is confident that CERN won't find us, but I can't afford to take that for granted. After all, we're up against the brightest minds in the world, the scientists who invented the World Wide Web. And they're backed by a secret organization more powerful than any nation. We're way out of our league here. They'd have no trouble at all crushing our puny lab if they desired. That's why we need a trump card to hold against them. But without an IBM 5100, we can't move forward. I'm getting restless. Whoa! What's this? Dara suddenly lurches forward to stare at his monitor. What's wrong? But there's no way that's right. What are you talking about? Explain. Well, I'm pulling data off the server, looking for a way to gain root access. And these files are downloading crazy fast. I mean, we're talking light speed here. It's hard to believe, but for some reason this area has a direct fiber optic line to CERN. Several lines, even. Direct? What do you mean? I mean, there's literally a fiber optic cable running from underneath this building to CERN's headquarters in France. Is that strange? Yeah. Dara calls up the National Assembly of France's website. Then, he brings up the command prompt and hammers out some commands. Have a look. This is the route we used to visit the National Assembly of France's site. It starts from our IP address. From there, it passes through various relays in Japan, jumps to France, then bounces around there for a while before finally reaching the National Assembly site. It takes 16 steps total to get there. The average transfer rate is about 300 milliseconds. That's normal for an overseas connection. In other words, there's a route we have to take to get to France from Japan. Everyone takes the same route. Other countries are the same. Even browsing domestically takes about 10 steps. Now, let's try CERN. Dara calls up CERN's homepage on the browser. And then he displays the route like last time. The results? There's only one step. Unlike before, the signal doesn't pass through any immediate servers. The PC we're using, its registered name is Akihabara PC, is connected directly to CERN in France. And the transfer rate is hundreds of times faster than usual. Better. Crazy fast. You can't even get these numbers domestically, man. Why do we have a direct line? Is that even possible? Just like this when we found it, I didn't do anything. So the building already had a hotline to CERN? This can't be a coincidence. It might be the choice of Stein. It doesn't make sense. Why would there be an independent line running from here all the way to CERN? Dara's so excited, he interrupted me. No Japanese and French telecommunication company would set up something like this, which means CERN did it themselves. Dara gulps and nods. Cold sweat oozes from his brow. I feel a chill as well. CERN might be able to see everything we're doing. No? Maybe CERN has been expecting us for years. How could that be? The answer is simple. John Titor claims that CERN completed their time machine in 2034. Just 2 years later, the world is a dystopia under their rule. Maybe the Sun of 2034 considers our operation in 2010 a threat. Maybe they use their time machine to travel to 2000 and install a fiber optic cable to track our every move. It's entirely possible. Has the invention of the time machine started an intertemporal war? If so, what can we do? Our enemy might be stronger than even I can imagine. No, I mustn't lose heart. I need to think positive. But thanks to this direct line, we can now control the LHC remotely. You figured out how? Wow, that's amazing, Daru-kun. Mayuri pauses her DVD and comes up beside me. If the connection is fast, we can control the LHC practically in real time. I haven't actually tried it yet, though. That's right. Even if this is some kind of certain trap, we might be able to make use of it. They're still vulnerable to our attack. The LHC is that 20-kilometer long tunnel thing, right? What does it do again? It accelerates protons and smashes them together. Oh yeah, mini black holes, right? The official line is that many black holes might manifest as a byproduct of the particle collision, but that's not the truth. According to the top secret documents we found, the LHC was intended to create black holes from the very beginning. But we still don't know exactly how they do it. We need to think of a way to... Okabe? Chris suddenly emerges from the development room. She was cooped up in there all morning. Her expression is unusually grave. What's wrong? I figured it out. Figured what out? I think I know how the phone wave works. Really? Kirsty nods. She still hasn't smiled. Keep in mind that this is just a hypothesis based on what we've observed. It's closely related to what you guys were talking about, the LHC. I believe it was you, Christina, who called the LHC the world's largest microwave. Yes, exactly. My hunch was right. You've created a monster, Okabe. A monster. It doesn't belong in some amateur lab, and before you take that as an endorsement of your abilities, I mean it in a bad way. Kurisu clutches her arms as if to keep from trembling. Give me details. Did you note that the microwave oven was invented as a byproduct of radar research? Dara and I nod. Mayuri shakes her head. We read up on all that back then. The phone wave, named subject to change, started acting weird. Presumably when microwaves are electromagnetic waves with a frequency of 2.45 gigahertz. The phone wave is commercial grade, so its output is around 1500 to 2000 watts. Here's the important part. Kurisu goes on to explain that the electromagnetic waves output by the microwave are somehow connected to the electromagnetic waves output by the phone. In fact, you could say they fuse together. According to Daru's blueprints, the microwave and the phone are made to send out shared electromagnetic waves by taking their leads and hardwiring each of them to the magnetron's cathode and anode. On one hand, we have the microwave's super strong electromagnetic waves, originally a byproduct of the military's research into radar technology. On the other, we have the cell phone's standardized electromagnetic waves, a frequency now ubiquitous throughout the world. What happens when you fuse those two waves? Both devices use electromagnetic waves. I'm not a specialist though, so I can't examine the extent or magnitude of the influence that fusion has. But hypothetically, if cell phone were to become a stepping stone, scattering the military-grade electromagnetic waves over a vast range of hundreds of kilometers, then not just Akihabara, but all of Tokyo would turn into the inside of a microwave oven. Taking into account slight variance due to the body weight, the average time until death for the people inside would be 3 minutes. Seriously? Then the phone waves are weapon of mass destruction, isn't it? It's really that powerful? Let me tell you what happens inside the phone wave. The air inside the oven is full of invisible hydrogen atoms. First, it bombards the atoms with microwaves to increase their energy potential. This is the normal function of a microwave oven. But when you add electromagnetic waves from the phone, the harmonics trigger a chain reaction. Particles collide repeatedly at near light speed, gaining mass and energy each time. In other words, it becomes a sort of particle accelerator. A particle accelerator is literally the same as the LHC. So, if the LHC was created to generate many black holes, then the phone wave, name subject to change, also must produce many black holes. Kurusu doesn't deny it. It's a miracle that thing has been so stable. But there's still one thing I don't understand. Even if it does produce mini black holes, they should evaporate instantly. But that's not what happens in the phone wave. The jellification phenomenon proves that, just like in the LHC, how many black holes are turning into Kerr black holes. According to Tadri, you have to inject electrons to produce the Kerr black hole effect. Where do the injected electrons come from? That's what I don't understand. The LHC uses something called a lifter to inject electrons into the black hole and control the gravitational field. Something is filling that role inside the phone wave. So, something? Like I said, I don't know what. So I guess that's what it comes down to. All Chris's explanation does is confirm our hypothesis that the phone wave name subject to change functions the same as the LHC. Looks like we need to review what the LHC is. It's time for our LHC Mo guy to shine. LHC stands for Large Hadron Collider. Hadron? It's the name of an elementary particle. The LHC is basically a huge circular tunnel underneath Switzerland and France. It sits about 100 meters below the ground and has a total length of 27 kilometers. There are 2 rings that run through the tunnel. Inside the rings are a super low temperature vacuum, an environment like outer space, basically. Seriously, Moe. In an adjacent facility, protons are gradually accelerated by the linear accelerator, the proton synchrotron booster, and the super proton synchrotron. Finally, they are injected into the LHC, where they undergo their final acceleration via a series of superconducting magnets installed in the tunnel. By now, they're traveling at up to 99.99999991% to the speed of light. That's enough to melt your brain. Not as dangerous as the phone wave, though. Finally, the accelerated protons collide approximately 1 to 10 billion times per second. The purpose of the LHC project is to study the high-energy reactions that result, or so they say. We know they're a bunch of stinking liars. I guess that about covers it. And that, my fellow lab members, brings us to the question: can the phone wave, name subject to change, be CERN to true physical time travel? 2 problems. 1. Setting the destination. 2. The lifter. We've already established that the email arrives precisely when and where it's supposed to. It's dangerous to accept that without verification. Agreed? As for the lifter, we already know it exists. We just need to figure out what it is. I don't think we're going to find it. The phone wave's not exactly big, you know. And we've been poking at it for days without turning up a clue. Even if we do find it, it'll take forever to learn how to tune the electron feed properly. How long is forever? CERN's been working on it for 9 years and they still haven't solved it. We're just amateurs, so it's bound to take even longer. Wait, I have an idea. Let's look at it from a different angle. CERN tried to send people back in time, but they couldn't get the electron feed right. The singularities were not neglected. It's the same with the phone wave, names have to change. You can only send 36 bytes of data safely, otherwise you get a jelly man. Let's consider the problem in reverse. What if we could convert a human to data, then compress that data into just 36 bytes? We could send that person through the ring singularity just like an email, couldn't we? Convert a human to data? That's not even possible, man. And even if it were, it'd be like exabytes of data or something. You want to compress that into 36 bytes? Are you high? I thought it was a good idea. I guess it's not that easy. The barriers of time travel are just too high. I turned to Karisu, meaning to ask her opinion, and then I realized that her expression has changed dramatically. Her eyes are as wide as saucers and her mouth is hanging open. Of course. If it works, then maybe... She pauses for a second, and then... Maybe we can do it. Do what? Time travel? It's hard to believe what Karisu is saying, even though it was my idea in the first place. Are you serious? Karisu grins triumphantly in response. The data compression part, at least, is easy. We can just use the black holes created by the LHC, since black holes compress everything they swallow. Compression won't harm data like it would harm a human. As long as we're just sending data, there's nothing to worry about. I get it. But wait, can we really pull off such a stunt? And besides, how do you plan to convert humans into data? You know that my thesis got published, right? This is no time to flaunt your accomplishments. Have you read it? I haven't. I've got scans if you want to read it. Daru opens up his image folder, scrolls past tons of 2D porn, and opens up the scanned image. Sure enough, there's Kurisu's name in big English letters. The title of my thesis is Analysis of Memory-Related Nerve Impulses in the Temporal Lobe. Temporal lobe? Nerve impulses? What? You didn't know? No, wait. This can't be right. This title sounds like, neuroscience, not physics. I'm a neuroscientist. Got a problem? What? I can't believe it. From the way she talks about particle accelerators and time travel theory, I was sure she had to be a physicist. No. Forget about that. Why is this related to time travel? Converting an entire human to data is impossible. But converting a human's memories may be possible. Converting memories to data? Karisu proceeds to explain her thesis. Memories accumulate in something called the parahippocampal gyrus, or hippocampus, which is located in the temporal lobe of the brain. But what exactly are memories? Kirisu's thesis analyzes that question from a neuroscientific perspective. All of the brain's functions manifest as electrical signals running through its neurons. Even memories are written to the hippocampus by electrical signals. Karisu analyzed how specific electrical signals correspond to specific memories. The mechanism by which humans recall memories can be likened to a word association game. You begin with a vague abstract image, which calls successive images of increased clarity. Imagine a chest of drawers. Each drawer is filled with tiny boxes, and inside each box is another bunch of tiny boxes. You keep opening boxes until you find the memory you're looking for. Karisu discovered that the number of retrieval commands, nerve impulses used to search up memories, is surprisingly low. Out of hundreds of millions of nerve impulse patterns in the brain, only a few thousand are related to memory. It was the successful analysis of these patterns that earned Kurisu and her research team critical acclaim in the scientific community. Now, before you ask how this relates to time travel, there's one more thing I need to explain. Several years ago, my lab, the neurophysiological lab at Victor Kandriel University, Victor Kandria University developed a technological. I'm just going to start this entire one over. Several years ago, my lab, the Neurophysiological Lab at Victor Kandria University, developed a technology called visual rebuilding, or VR for short. Put simply, it enables conversion of video data into nerve impulse signals. Used in reverse, it can also convert nerve impulses into video data or any other kind of electronic data. So, if we combine VR technology with my research, do you see where I'm going? No way. We can convert memories into data. Not just that. Memory transplantation, backups, external storage, all of those things become possible. It's like science fiction. In a sense, this technology could be used to copy a person's soul. According to Kurisu, some religious groups strongly oppose this research, as you might expect. On the other hand, the medical community is ecstatic about the possibilities. In any case, it's amazing that my assistant here is able to make such an incredible discovery. Of course, she did have a university supporting her, but still. So basically what you're saying is that we convert the subject's memories into video data, using the LHC's black hole to compress that data into 36 bytes. Send that data through the pure black hole inside the phone wave, name subject to change, and finally imprint those memories on the subject's brain in the past. What does that mean? We can send our memories back in time. In order to differentiate it from physical time travel, let's call it a time leap for now. You don't go back, just your memories. It's so crazy that nobody's thought of it before. She's right, the idea is ridiculous, which is exactly why none of the geniuses at CERN could come up with it. But this union of physics, neuroscience, and neurophysiology will make the impossible possible. To transfer memories to the past via cell phone, to time leap. The important thing to remember is that only memories are being transferred. Personality and consciousness aren't included. What does that mean? How is it different from what you see in sci-fi novels? Time leaping in sci-fi usually sends everything: consciousness, personality, and memory. But in real life, there's probably too much data, and besides, we only analyze the memories. Think of consciousness, personality, and memory as separate things. Memories are like the video data stored on your computer, and consciousness and personality are like the OS. But videos take up way more space than the OS. It's just an example. For starters, it's still not clear where personality and consciousness are located, or how they are constructed. So, we can't convert them into data, or at least I can't. So we can only send memories. Where does that leave us? Your memories aren't the only thing that defines you. Even if you send your memories to the past, it will be receiving your consciousness and personality that process them. So in Mindor's terms, it's like copying data from a Vista computer to a Min 95 computer. Data connected, created with the latest OS, might not work on an older OS. It might cause errors. For example, if you send your current memories to yourself in elementary school, the gap between your memories and your body would have serious consequences. Anyway, is it correct to assume that we'll be targeting ourselves in the past? Kurisu nods at my question. Just like with D-mail, we're using cell phones as the transfer medium. To be precise, you can only leap into your own body, and only if you had a cell phone at the time of reception. There was an exception to, in Lukoko's case, where we sent the Gmail to a pager, but that doesn't apply to time leaping. If you try sending memories to someone else, how do I put this? There's a danger that the electrical signals might get rejected. Wouldn't want to jump into someone else's body. I mean, unless it's the body of a cute girl. Is this guy capable of a non-perverted thought? Don't ehehe me, you idiots. If it just bounces off, that's fine, but I'm worried incompatible memory data might do serious damage to the recipient's psyche. I don't know what might happen. No one's done it before, after all. That makes us pioneers. I like it. There are two things I do know. One, you definitely cannot go back before you were born, and two, you won't exist in two places at once. That means you don't have to worry about causing a paradox. You can't kill your parents before you were born. So the phones act like black and white holes. It seems like a strange coincidence that cell phones would be the medium of time travel, but really, could it have been anything else? These days, people wear their phones like a second skin. No other medium could reliably deliver the memories to their intended target. The more I think about it, the more I realize that this was meant to be. I whip out my phone. It's me. Everything is falling into place. The plan can now proceed to the final stage. I'm talking about Operation Verthandi, obviously. Christina had me fooled. I never knew she was capable of this. It must have been the choice of Stein's gate that sent her here. Don't worry. I have everything under control. Nothing can stop us now. El Sai Congru. I put away my phone and turned to Kurisu. Were you listening? Good. Commence preparations for Operation Verthandi. First, explain what that is. We're going to build your time loop machine, Christina. And you'd better not say it can't be done, not after showing me the way. Well, this is Akihabara. I should be able to find the parts I need. Then it's decided. I'm placing you in charge of this operation. Whatever you need, ask and it shall be yours. Together, we shall complete the first time leap machine in human history. Kurisu nods. Her eyes are shining with a fierce, hungry light. As I thought, she's a scientist to the core. Kurisu and Daru go home, leaving me with Mayuri. Oneself. I thought she was hard at work on her costume, but when I look, I find her staring at the wall. Her hands have stopped moving. Mayuri, you're not going home? She usually doesn't stay this late. Her parents might be worried. I was thinking about what Okurin and Chris-chan were talking about earlier. I was trying to figure out what the things you said meant, but it was all so complicated, I didn't get any of it. The only thing I get is that something amazing is gonna happen. Indeed. The world is about to change, and we shall be the ones to lead humanity into the future. You're shining, Okurin. Shining? What does that mean? You're shining. Chris-chan too, like two bright stars in the sky. That must be my aura of madness you're sensing. You know, it's been 10 days since Chris-chan joined us. Can I tell you how I've been feeling? Since Chris-chan became a labman, it feels like things have really started to happen. Like we're a real lab now, you know? I must admit, her knowledge has been a great asset. Of course, the girl genius would never have joined us if not for the cunning of Jumpman Kyouma. That's why he's shining so bright now, Kurin. Chris-chan is really a big help to you, I know. But I can't do anything to help. Mayuri looks depressed. I wish I were smart too. Then maybe I could help. Mayuri? She's never expressed such sentiments before. Is she jealous of Kurisu's talents? Is there competition brewing in the lab? I sigh and walk to the window. I can't see many stars in the sky. Mayuri, aren't you going to look at the stars? Mayuri comes up beside me. We lean out the window together. It's only 9 p.m., but Akiba is already still and silent, save for the occasional car trundling by. Back when the lab just started, before Daru-kun joined, it was like this a lot, wasn't it? All quiet, just the two of us. Yeah, it was. Daru joined the lab in early May. Before that, he was unwilling to join no matter how I tried to convince him. Then he learned that the lab was just 3 minutes away from May Queen Nyan, and suddenly he was all, Future Gadget Lab, hell yeah! But for about a month and a half after the lab's founding, it was just me and Mayuri all alone. Can Mayushi stay here? Is it really okay? Mayuri looks at me with uncertainty in her eyes. I meet her gaze firmly, then pop her lightly on the head. Don't be ridiculous. All you need to do is stay. Just stay? Without you, the lab would be much less friendly a place. You see how Chris and I argue? We can be pretty stubborn, and sometimes we don't know where to stop. But when it starts to get out of hand, Mayuri, you're always there, with some ditzy irrelevant comments to break the tension. Are you praising me? Of course I am. Don't worry about a thing. Just know that you, too, are part of my plan. Okay. Thanks, Okurin. Mayuri smiles in relief. And then her stomach rumbles. I am starving. I'll warm up some canned Odin. You want some too? Yeah. Heat it up. Coming right up. Soon we are chowing down on piping hot Odin. The next day, Mayuri and I go shopping at Radigan. We have a list written by Kurisu of parts for the time machine. The time leap machine. Naturally, I'm paying for everything out of my own pocket. Kurisu and Daru have already started work on the upgrade. Apparently, the conversion of memories into digital data requires software developed at Kurisu's lab in America. She can download that software from their dedicated server. But that's not the only thing we need. There's also some kind of brain-scanning headgear that we're going to have to make ourselves. Incidentally, I have to pay extra close attention to make sure Mayuri doesn't wander off while we're shopping. If she sees some random store that interests her, she'll literally stop and stare at it for hours. I keep walking, of course, and only later realize that she's not behind me. Then I have to run from store to store looking for her. This must be how parents of small children feel. Anyway, this is nothing new. Mayuri has always been like this. I'm begging you, stick with me. If you get lost in this labyrinth of technology, you'll never escape, not with your sense of direction. Okie dokie. I'll be careful. By the way, how's time leaping different from time travel? Did you really hear what I just said about not wandering off? Besides, Kurisu already explained the difference yesterday. Time travel means your whole body travels through time. The time leap will only send your memories to the past. It's simple. Just memories. No personality or consciousness included. Although Kurisu did mention that there was no way to be sure what might happen to your consciousness. Oh. Does that mean you can do things with time leaps that you can't do with D-mail? The email can only send instructions to the past. The past may change or it may not. The results are unpredictable and depend on the recipient. And when the past does change, the world line is reconfigured. Everyone loses their old memories. I am the exception, thanks to reading Stein. With a time leap, on the other hand, you can give your past self not just instructions, but all of the memories you have right now, or at least that's the idea. We won't know for sure if it works until the machine is built. So I could send the costume I'm making back to last week. I would love to have another week to prepare for Kamema. That might be possible with time travel, but not with time leaping. Say you had a test last week. Now that you know the answers, you could send that knowledge to yourself and ace the test, but you couldn't go back and hand yourself a cheat sheet. So Mayoshi's mind goes to Mayoshi 1 week ago. Exactly. While this conversation has been going on, I've been steadily purchasing items from Kurisu's shopping list. You can't bring stuff, but you can bring your memories. I get it. But then what about Mayoshi 1 week ago? Where do her memories go? I assume they get overwritten. We haven't tested it though, so there's no way to be sure. She disappears? Your memories right now include your memories from back then, so even if she does disappear, you don't really lose anything. I guess you could say you're just adding your memories from 1 week in the future. Then, if Mayoshi's memories leap into the Mayoshi 1 week ago, what happens to Mayoshi now? Mayo is asking some pretty philosophical questions today. But I guess anyone would ask the same. Mayoshi's memories jump to the past, but my body's still here, right? What happens to me when my memories go bye-bye? You become an empty shell. No, that can't be right. That wouldn't make sense. My assistant's device merely records your memory data. In other words, it's just a backup. Your original memories are still inside you. Nothing inside the brain is lost. You don't become an empty shell. Besides, neither personality nor consciousness is transferred to begin with. Your body shouldn't become an empty shell, and your consciousness shouldn't leap, either. No, wait. There's another issue here. Actually, won't you become a new Mayori? One who received memories from the future 1 week ago? Not that anybody, including me, would be able to tell the difference. Then, does the Mayoshi who had the normal memories before the time leap get erased by the Mayoshi who repeated the week within extra memories? This is getting complicated. That's right. She's erased. In other words, you relive the week. You can do things the same, or you could do something completely different. And you'll keep your old memories of the week that disappeared. Then, does that mean... The questions keep coming. She's trying hard to understand in her own ditzy way. So, I redo the week, okay, but what if I decide to go to Ikebukuro with my friends instead of coming to the lab today? What happens to Miyoshi talking to Okurin right now? The present would change to match the past, and this conversation would never happen. Oh, and you wouldn't notice the difference, Okurin? Right. No one would notice. That would be kinda sad. For me. Who? No, for Mayoshi. I don't get what she means. Maybe that's why Christian doesn't want to change the past. She nods to herself with a bright smile. Oh, I just thought of something. Can you time leap into the future? Maybe, but there wouldn't be a point. Carissa and I reached that conclusion yesterday. The memories you send overwrite the memories at your destination. If you sent your memories 1 week into the future, then in the future you would lose 1 week of memories. The whole point of our time leap machine is to affect past events. We don't need to worry about the future. Besides, you are less likely to reach the future than you are the past. And that's because the future is inherently unpredictable. For example, do you think you'll have the same phone number for all eternity? How should I know? Exactly my point. And remember, pagers became obsolete with the advent of cell phones. Similarly, our phones may be replaced by some other device in the future. In order to for the time leap to succeed, the target, you, must have a phone whose number you know. As long as that condition is met, there should never be a problem with setting the destination. The real problem is what inside the phone wave, named subject to change, is acting as the lifter. Until we figure that out, we can't reproduce the discharge phenomenon at will. The phone wave, named subject to change, will remain incomplete. On the other hand, if we can figure it out, we'll have an endless source of electrons that, unlike CERN's, needs no tuning. I'm exhilarated. The phone wave, named subject to change, is evolving by the day. Our invention of the time leap machine will put us light years ahead of CERN. Time travel will finally become a reality. I can't wait to try it out. My soul yearns for the taste of chaos. I barely managed to keep from bursting out in mad laughter. Come to think of it, more than 1 week has passed since we sent the first email, and although there was that strange threatening email, there remains no sign of Men in Black coming to haul us away. According to Daru, CERN hasn't discovered our hacking either. The next problem is what will happen when we use the time leap machine. In order to compress a human's entire wealth of memory into the requisite 36 bytes, we have to borrow the LHC's black hole. I can't believe that CERN won't notice an unauthorized activation of the LHC. How do we keep them from finding us? We need a plan. I guess I can't go back to grade school, can I? I didn't have a phone back then. Mayuri's still talking about her time leap. You want to go back to your elementary school days? I know exactly how you feel. If you repeat elementary school with the knowledge you have now, you'll get top grades and have an easy time bending children to your will. Yeah, and I thought maybe I could see Grandma again. I see. I'm afraid that's not possible. Mayuri's grandmother passed away when Mayuri was in elementary school. Yeah, it's too bad, but I guess I don't really need to see her. I still remember her words, her smile, and her wrinkly hand patting my head. So, even if I don't see her again, I'm okay. What I really want is to see little Okunin again. Back then, I was already a scientist without equal, a titan towering above the other children. You can hardly be blamed for desiring to meet the child prodigy who would one day be feared as the great mad scientist, Jumpman Kyouma. I don't want to meet Hoenn what's-his-face, I want to meet Okunin. I am Jumpman Kyouma. Always have been, always will be. Maybe Mayuri doesn't get it. So I disregard her comment. Anyway, there's no point. You haven't matured at all since that time, so nothing would change if you went back to elementary school anyway. Hey, that's not true. Mayoshi's all grown up now. The only thing that's grown is how much you eat. And your breast size. That's not true. Mayoshi's a real woman now. A real woman? I kind of want to hear the details, but she probably doesn't know what she's talking about. Besides, I think Okunin's the one who hasn't changed since then. Isn't that what I said? I was already a genius, mad scientist when you met me. The shopkeeper shoots me a glare. I guess this isn't the best place for maniacal laughter. Better get those parts and head back to the lab. We finish our shopping and come out in front of the station. By the way, Mayuri, have you not been working recently? Working? You mean at Lemonade? Of course, Queen Nyan doesn't exist in the current wholesome Akiba. Kamima is coming up, so I'm taking a few days off. I've got costumes to make. How many costumes are you making this year? 3. One for Kare-chan, one for Fubuki-chan, and then there's one for Luka-chan. I wonder if Lukuko is still refusing to wear it. I can hardly blame him. I mean, however cute he looks, he's still a guy. No, wait. That was before he sent the D-mail. It's before we sent the D-mail. Now Lukuko's a girl, I guess. How confusing. Ah, it's Moeka-san. What? I look where Miyuri's pointing and see Moeka squatting by the staircase, staring at her cell phone. She looks more tired than the last time I saw her. There are bags under her eyes, and her hair is frayed. The intensity of her expression makes me hesitate to call out to her. She'll probably just ignore me like before. On the other hand, she is a lab mem, so I can't just ignore her. Hey, Finger, why the long face, eh? It's Moeka-san! What are you doing here? Moeka doesn't look up. She mutters something that I can't make out. Hey, are you listening? If you have a problem, the insane mad scientist Jumpman Kyouma will gladly assist. But be warned, by the time I'm through, Akiba will be an ocean of blood. Moeka suddenly jerks upright as if poked with an electric prod. She lifts her head and stares at me with wide eyes, then jumps to her feet and walks right up to me. This is the first time I've seen Moeka express such emotion. What is it? What's wrong? She doesn't speak. That hasn't changed. Instead, she looks down and starts typing on her phone. Guess I should be ready for a meal. Didn't even see it. Didn't even see it. What do you mean, what happened? Oh, I guess I don't need to look, but I'm going to do it anyway. What happened to the time machine? Very important stuff. Are you still using it? Did you figure out how it works? We don't fully understand it yet. We're in the middle of upgrading it. It's amazing! This time, we might even be able to time leap. What's a time leap? Tell me more, Moeka. Don't write anything about it, otherwise we'll have to expel you from the lab. Moeka shakes her head violently. Guess she won't write an article. Our hacking of CERN has uncovered a new possibility for the phone wave name subject to change. It's a form of time travel made possible by borrowing CERN's equipment. This discovery will begin a new age of human civilization. No longer will men be slaves to time. Any future you desire can be yours. And history will record that we, the future Gadget Laboratory, changed the world forever. Okuren, that was really confusing. You lost me, Yushi. How can you not be moved by my speech? I'm talking about becoming legends here. Moeka bites her lip and types out a mail in irritation. Then she grabs my arm and digs in her fingernails. It hurts. Unhand me. But Moeka does not listen. What's a time leap, Moeka? The time leap is a way to send your memories to the past. We found a way to make that possible. Soon we will complete the time machine and become the undisputed lords of time. Okuren came up with the idea and Christian told us how to do it. Daru-kun's helping and Miyoshi and Okuren are shopping. Moeka suddenly releases me. Her eyes are blank, unfocused. She squats down on the spot, just as we found her. She seems entirely drained of energy and will. Are you okay, Moeka-san? Do you feel sick? That's amazing. You've made a real breakthrough. Congratulations. When will it be finished? I can't be sure. There are still several problems remaining. If they don't give us too much trouble, I guess we'll have it done in a week. On the other hand, we can't do anything until they're solved. Everything is the choice of Stein's Gate. I have faith there exists a path to success. And once the door is opened, the chaos for which I have so longed shall at last descend upon the earth. Trumpets will sound from the highest heaven, and the final battle, Ragnarok, will begin. Who are you fighting, Okurin? The organization, of course. Their rule must end once and for all. Wow. Don't do anything dangerous, okay? Why does Mayuri insist on worrying about me? Oh? Moeka's lips curl and curve into a smile. She raises to her feet unsteadily, then staggers off into the crowd. It's like she's forgotten about us completely. Mayuri and I can only watch her go. There's an indescribable aura about her that holds us back. What do you think is wrong with Moeka-san? I've known she was kind of strange ever since I met her, but this... Maybe she's an escaped mental patient or something. Not that her insanity can possibly compare to mine. For I desire nothing less than total and absolute chaos. What? No, Okurin's acting weird. Mayoshi's worried. Mayushi looks scared, so I cease my maniacal laughter a few minutes earlier than planned. Afterwards, Mayuri and I go separate ways. She apparently has to deliver a costume to her friend Fubiki, rather. When I return to the lab with my spoils of war, something surprising, though not too surprising, come to think of it, catches my eye. Ah! Kurisu is on the computer. As soon as she notices I've returned, she quickly closes the window on the screen. Hey! Think you could knock? This isn't your room. Besides, I'd have to be a fool to knock. There could be assassins lying in ambush. Assassins? Here? Are you stupid? Anyway, Christina, what are you looking at just now? I already know the answer, of course. I caught a glimpse on the screen before she closed it. I was doing research. Looks like she plans to continue this charade. I drop my bags and go to the computer. Stay back! I slip past Kurisu's blocking arms and restore the minimized window. Got a problem? Hey, what's with that this is awful raffle laughter? Have no fear, Christina, or should I call you @Channeler Chris? Don't call me that. I already knew. That's right. I realized long ago that you were an @Channeler. You can't hide it from me. You reek of that channel corruption. How rude. I make sure to apply light perfume every day. Fool. That is not what I meant. I'm talking about the scent of your soul. My soul? What's that supposed to mean? Explain. Why? So you can learn how to hide it? Shut up. Just explain already. There's nothing to explain. You use @channel memes in conversation? I'd have to be stupid not to notice. Feels bad, man. That's an @channel meme too. Your soul is tainted with the essence of @channel. You cannot hide it, not in such close proximity to another who uses @channel memes in actual conversation. Your souls resonates. That's it. It's all Hashida's fault. But it's cute how you try to hide it. @Channeler Chris. Don't call me that. She glares at me hard. If looks could kill. She has no sense of humor at all. I should be more careful in the future. But I don't understand. You're raised in America, so how are you so familiar with @channel? You can browse @channel from America. Need I say more? Ah, I get it. Living in an English-only environment made you hungry for Japanese. But did you have to resort to @channel? I mean, if you believe the pseudo-intellectuals in the media, browsing @channel is like reading scribbles on the bathroom wall. Sure, it's not the friendliest place, but I couldn't find anywhere that felt more Japanese. Anyway, can I ask a favor? What is it? Grisu turns away and mumbles something. But her voice is so low, I can't make it out. If you have something to say, say it. Grisu turns bright red, but her sullen expression doesn't change. Don't tell anyone else about this. What difference does it make? Daru's the most hardcore @channeler who ever lived, and Mayuri's an otaku too. Even I browse @channel regularly. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Just boldly write hobbies browsing @channel on your resume. Not a chance, idiots. What? You mean you'd rather post anchors on VIP? Gah, I hate myself for understanding those words. Well, whatever. If it will help you focus on the time leap machine, I'll keep your secret for now. Besides, it's just a matter of time before you make another mistake and reveal your true colors. You don't have to worry about me. Remember that I represented my entire laboratory when we presented our research, even though there were men twice my age on the project. I'm an expert at dealing with people. I have no trouble keeping it a secret. Noble. No. Kurisu's face gets even redder, and then she falls to her hands and knees in defeat. Orders. Just as I thought, @channel is in her blood and bones. She doesn't have a prayer. Mayuri says, what made me happy today? Fubuki-chan and Kade-chan praised me for the cosplay I made them this time. I'm really happy. Emoticon. As night fell again, we tried to activate the phone wave, name subject to change again, but as expected, the discharge did not occur. Mayuri is at her sewing machine, putting some finishing touches on a costume. She got back earlier this evening after delivering a different costume to her friend, Fubuki-chan. She's been working on this costume ever since. Come to think of it, she usually heads home around 7 or 8, but today she's still hard at work. Mayuri, go home before it gets too late. Your parents will worry. It's okay. I'm gonna stay the night. Really? She's never done that before. Yep, I already told Mom and Dad. Are you staying to work on your costume? It wouldn't be done in time for Komama if I don't. I'm surprised your parents let you stay. I've met her parents any number of times. They're as ditzy as Mayuri. But still, I don't think they'd appreciate their underage daughter staying overnight in this dirty lab. It must be my overwhelming charisma. No, wait. That makes me sound like a good person, so that can't be it. Of course, Mayuri's parents are so afraid of my insanity that they sent me their only daughter as a hostage. Reported. Kurisu calls out from the development room. She's been tinkering with the phone wave, name subject to change, but I guess she was listening. What would you do if I called the cops on you? I unleash my right arm on traitors, Christina. Yeah. Chunibyo, whatever. I told Mom and Dad that Chris-chan would be here. Then they said okay. Wait, so I have to stay too? Yep. Don't you have to work on the phone wave? I guess, but I don't relish the thought of spending the night here, at least not with a certain somebody around. Environment matters, Christina. This is a place of science and research, so you should have no trouble concentrating on your work. Trust the great Jumpman Kyouma. Also, it may surprise you to learn that I have equipped this lab with a system that stimulates brain function. So if you're wondering where my incredible genius comes from, now you know. It's because I sleep in this room every night. This stimulation system of yours, I assume it's been dumping toxic waste in your brain. You sound like an environmentalist, zombie. Ah, Mayoshi knows. You're talking about that, right? Kurisu comes out of the development room to check what Mayuri's pointing at. This air freshener? Okurin said that smell makes you smarter. He bought it at Akebao. When was that? About 6 months ago. It was on sale for 500 yen. I'm starting to think even you don't believe the stuff you say. And besides, this air freshener is empty. Yeah, when I went to buy replacement packs, they had already stopped selling them. Well, whatever. I was planning to stay either way. I'll join you, Mayuri-san. Really? That's great! On one condition, Okabe leaves. Me? Leave? I practically live here. This lab was promised to me by Stein's Gate. It's the dwelling place of my soul. We girls are staying here overnight, so you filthy boys need to show respect. Your home isn't even far from here, right? Okurin lives close to Mayushi, in Ikebukuro. Wow, that's less than 30 minutes by train. Anyway, I'm not going to need your help tonight, so just go home like a good boy, okay? But I refuse. What? Are you planning to molest us? Shut up, Mongolian spot. I don't have a Mongolian spot. And when did you see my butt anyway? I can't leave 2 young girls here alone. Minors need guardians. But Okurin's a minor too. I'll be 20 in less than a year and a half. In other words, Stein's Gate has decided that I am an adult. I'm pretty sure that makes you a minor just like us. Christian, I don't think Okurin would do anything bad. I mean, we've been together for more than 10 years and he hasn't molested me once. But he took you hostage, didn't he? Yep, actually, I'm still his hostage. We should kick him out of the room. I sigh deeply and place a hand on my forehead. You disappoint me, Christina. This lab is a place of science. We are above such petty concerns as sex. If you must speak of these vulgarities, then I'll have to ask you and your Mongolian spots to leave. Looks like that was enough to convince Karisu. She gives me a fine gesture as she returns to the development room. Oh, so Christina really does have a birthmark on her butt. No! After working on the phone wave named subject to change for about an hour, I head to a convenience store to buy dinner. Dara hasn't shown his face at all today. He must be busy with that part-time job. I still don't know what he's doing exactly. Probably something that utilizes his super haka skills. I just hope he steers clear of the law. While walking, I skim @channel on my phone. Titor hasn't shown up lately. I think it's been a week since his last appearance. I've been reluctant to contact him ever since he called me the Messiah in his last email. That was about the same time he stopped posting. Now @channel's denizens are busy slandering Titor. The majority opinion is that he ran away. I wonder where Titor went. I tried emailing him the other day, but he hasn't replied. His disappearance is especially worrying now that I think he might be Suzuha's dad. I need to contact him somehow. Just then, a mail arrives. No sender name, the address is one I've seen once before. No answer. I've got a bad feeling about this. I pause and take a look around, then I swallow my fear and open the mail. I'm gonna do it by hand, personally. You know too much. Oh, a creepy doll splattered in red paint. It feels as if a cold hand stroked my spine. I hug myself. Rather hug. Shuddering at the sight, I delete the email immediately. It's happening again. This is bad. Really bad. This is a threat. Was it sent by the organization? By CERN? Does CERN know what we've been doing? Should I report to the police? Wait, I can't. I just deleted it. And in any case, a picture alone probably isn't enough to get the police involved. Still, maybe I should talk to someone, but who? Not the girls. I can't worry them with this. I'm the adult here after all. What about Moeka? No, she may be a lab mem, but she's been acting weird lately. Even if I tell her about this, she won't be any use. Suzuha, That's her father to worry about. I guess that leaves Daru. I need to find out whether CERN has discovered our hacking. What would CERN do if they did find out, I wonder? They wouldn't have us killed, would they? Despite my efforts to convince myself that this is just a prank, my feet hurry me back to the lab. I burst into the lab, gasping for air, and quickly lock the door behind me. Finally, I can catch my breath. But just then I realize that something's wrong. Mayuri and Kurisu aren't here. Did they go home? No, their bags are still here. The lights are still on. The door. When I entered it just now, it wasn't locked. Would they be so careless? The memory of that threatening email fills me with fear. Don't tell me. Were they kidnapped? Who took them? The organization? CERN? And then I hear a noise. Is that the shower? The lab has a shower inside the dressing room. There's no bath. We can't afford such luxuries. And it's too small to fit more than one person inside. Now I hear the sound of water running. I recall the famous scene from Hitchcock's Psycho. No. Fresh blood mixed into the water and flowing down the drain. The corpses of two girls sprawled out naked on the tile. In the second those images flash through my head, I slam open the door to the shower room. Is everything okay? And of course, the obligatory. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, no peeking, Okrin. Through the steam, I see the wet, naked bodies of two girls. Mayuri squats down and Kurisu bashfully twists her body, trying desperately to hide her unmentionables. And their faces red because of heat or... Phew, you're still alive. I wipe the cold sweat off my brow and sigh deeply. Don't scare me like that. What are you guys doing packed into that tiny shower anyway? Kurisu shoots me a deadly glare. Get out, you perv! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I dodge a bar of soap aimed at my face, then quickly flee the dressing room. Well, I suppose that was all my fault. Mayoshi's sad. I feel kinda dirty. You're gonna regret this. I'll never forgive you. Damn it. This was just a small misunderstanding. I mean, why the hell did they decide to take a shower together? When they knew I was coming right back. It's like they wanted to be seen. Kurisu especially. After all that talk about not wanting to spend the night with me around, she sure dropped her guard awfully fast. They're just lucky it was me who walked in on them. What if it had been the organization? They need to get serious. We're fighting for our lives here. By the way, I didn't see a Mongolian spot on Kurisu's butt. Naturally. Anyway, how much longer are they going to shower? Looking at the clock, it's already been more than 15 minutes since I got back. They were yelling at me a few minutes ago, but now I hear laughter and happy squeals coming from the shower room. Sounds like they're having a good time. They get along almost like sisters. Wow, Chris-chan, you're so slim. But Mayuri, your breasts are so big, I'm jealous. They're checking each other out, aren't they? In my head, I call up the memory of what I saw in the shower. Wet hair, beads of water glistening on their soapy skin, round, full treasures hidden by conveniently placed steam. I put my phone to my ear. It's me. We have a problem. We're under attack from the Mongolian Spot and Ditzy sisters. They're going directly after my sanity. A bold move against the insane mad scientist Jumpman Kyouma. This is the strongest offensive I have encountered so far. I realize now that vulnerability itself can be a powerful weapon. They're pulling out all the stops, and I don't think my pants can take it. Give in to the temptation? Nonsense. I could never do that. They're fellow lab members, my loyal assistant and my childhood friend. Must I? Is it truly the will of Stein's gate that I give in? That I raise my hand against my closest companions? If so, then how cruel the fates be. Sight. After a moment to collect myself, I put away my phone. I need some air. 2 days have passed since Kurisu and Mayuri came to stay. During that time, Daru and I have done our best to support Kurisu's work on the phone wave, name subject to change. According to Daru, it should be easy to use the LHC to generate black holes for our use. The black holes form at the proton collection. The proton collision point where the lifter is installed and exists for only a few seconds before evaporating. During those few seconds, CERN throws a human into the singularity. We'll use those few seconds too. The gravity of the black hole compresses matter to infinite density. CERN uses the lifter to keep the compression under control, but we don't want that. We're going to dial CERN's lifter down. Not so much that it endangers the world, of course, but enough to compress our memory data to under 36 bytes. Daru has been coding the necessary program. As for me, I've been searching for our lifter, the unknown device that pumps electrons into the phone wave, the name subject to change, and keeps our black hole open. Kurisu couldn't find anything that could serve as a lifter inside the microwave, so it must be something on the outside. We're not sure what that could be, so far we have no idea where to start looking. Yesterday I consulted Daru about that threatening email, but Daru insisted there's no way CERN could have discovered his hacking yet. Of course, I had him make doubly sure we hadn't been tracked. His tests came back so clean. I understand he's confident in his skills, and I trust him. If Daru says they haven't found out, then they haven't. But somehow, knowing that doesn't ease my anxiety. It's Friday. Although we still haven't solved the lifter problem, Kurisu is just about done with the time loop machine. Get up, Joe! Have you gone to any festivals or fireworks shows this summer? Maybe you have plans to go with Mayuri-chan later. P.S. I did 22 practice swings with Samidare. I don't know, man. I guess... I don't know Mayuri's plans, but I'm pretty sure she's busy preparing for a different sort of festival soon to take place in Ariake? I'm not sure about that. Not too crowded. I'm being chased by the organization. Remember, the last thing I need is a knife in the back. Let's just not answer. Yeah, let's just not answer. It's Friday, and although we still haven't solved the lifter problem, Kurisu is just about done with the time loop machine. Naturally, that means it's time for her to give me something else to worry about. For the final adjustments, we need to use the phone wave. I groan. In other words, we have to cause the electrical discharge phenomenon. There's a risk involved. A risk called Mr. Braun. As we know, the discharge phenomenon causes the entire building to shake. Last time, Mr. Braun threatened to raise our rent if it happened again. Kurisu and Daru look at me. What's up with you, Okurin? Take care of it. In other words, you're sending me to die. Your sacrifice will allow us to complete the time loop machine. Besides, you're always the one who talks to the boss for us. Well, maybe it's time for you to put your lives on the line. I can't. That girl who works there hates me. Fine. But hear this. I will not die. Like the immortal phoenix, I will return, no matter how many times it takes. With that said, I head down to handle things with Master Braun. Don't die, okay? As I pass through the lounge, Mayuri looks up from her costume and sees me off. When I step into the store, Mr. Braun, Suzuha, and the Chipmunk are watching some comedy show on the massive 42-inch CRT. In response to Suzuha's greeting, the Chipmunk, Nei, quickly hides behind her father when she sees me. I see you're as busy as ever. Okabe, buy a CRT. No thanks. I'm not some kind of retro TV otaku. I'd rather buy an LCD. I look around the store as I answer. I just thought of something. Like CERN's Large Hadron Collider, the phone wave, name subject to change, must have some kind of electron feed to keep the black hole open. CERN calls this feed the lifter. We still haven't figured out what that is, nor what could be acting as a substitute lifter in our time machine. What if our lifter is somewhere in this shop? Whatever it must be in close proximity to the phone wave, maybe subject to change, it couldn't work otherwise, and the Braun 2 workshop is located directly below the lab. Could our lifter be a CFT? You have been having a lot of girls over lately, haven't you? Just the usual members. I was over the other day. Invited me next time, huh? I want to talk to some young girls for a change. Daddy, that's dirty. No, it isn't. It's, marketing. Yeah, I'm looking for new customers. Check out this scary-looking guy trying desperately to explain himself to his daughter. Hilarious. What do you mean for a change? You talk to me every day. You're not young. Suzu has the same age as Dara and I, which makes her older than Mayuri and Karisu. Did you say something, Okabe Rentaro? Only the truth. Nah, your father is happy as long as he has you, okay? Yep, I know. But don't say dirty things anymore, okay? It's a promise. Then he joins Pinkies with his daughter. Damn, Mr. Braun, you're way off character. How does a guy like him produce a daughter like that? Naya is one of the kindest, gentlest girls I've ever met. I don't know why she's so afraid of me, though. Anyway, I came here to explain that the building is about to shake. How do I avoid having my head ripped off? How many more earthquakes do you think this building can handle? No, that's way too obvious. An earthquake is coming. My magic eye reading Steiner has seen it in the future. Escape while you still can. Yeah, that might work. Hey, did Shina Mayuri stay over yesterday? Yeah. So, Maxi Karisu stayed too? Yeah. They're both upstairs. Wait, that don't line up. Time out. Quote unquote, yesterday. Two days have passed. Yeah, they're both upstairs. Oh, Suzuma's hostility towards Kurisu hasn't abated. And how are you doing? Huh? Are you feeling better? Oh, yeah, I guess. The search continues. Huh? What's this about, part-timer? I'm searching for my dad. I told you before, remember? Oh, right. Go find her old man, Okabe. Why does he think he can boss me around? Naturally. Suzu is a fellow lab member. Leave it to us. Suzu looks at me with a smile that shines through the gloom filling the store. Okabe Rentaro. We are the same age, but sometimes you seem a lot older. You really know how to give people strength. That's the first time anyone said that to me. It makes me kinda happy. Of course. I am the great Jumpman Kyouma. The chipmunk cowers in terror as I unveil my madness. I can see tears pooling in her eyes. I guess my aura is just too powerful for a grade school girl to endure. Okabe, next time you scare Ne, I'll kill ya. Sorry. Come here a sec. Suzuha takes my arm and leads me away from the Tenojis, who have gone back to watching TV. I just want to say, be circumspect about your dealings with Makase Kurisu. What? Circumspect? Why can't she just say careful like a normal person? Not that I'm one to talk. This again? Aren't you just being paranoid? Suzuha shakes her head firmly. No. Her perniciousness has been proven. Perniciousness? Is she saying Kurisu is dangerous? There's something strange about the way Suzuha is talking. And it's not just her fondness for uncommon words. There's something else. Something... Her genius is a threat. At heart, she only cares about her experiments. Suzua's eyes are hard, and her voice is as cold as ice. I could tell she means every word she says. Listen to me. She is using you all. Makase Kurisu is connected to CERN. What? No, that's impossible. CERN is our enemy. If Daru's hacking is discovered, I have no doubt they will do everything in their power to destroy us. How can Kurisu be connected to CERN? You're saying she's a spy? Suzua nods firmly. The credit for inventing the time machine was hers. Again, Suzua's words sound strange to my ears, but I still can't place my finger on why. Don't let your guard down. I don't believe it. I saw Kurisu's anger when she learned what CERN had been doing. She called their actions a betrayal of scientists everywhere. How can someone with such a pure love for science be connected to CERN? But if what Suzua says is true, could she be the one who sent that threatening email? I suspected Moeka, but... Kya! Nay, says. Suddenly, the ground starts to shake. Kurisu started the experiment? But I haven't talked to Mr. Braun yet. Damn, it's too soon. Okabe! Sure enough, veins on Mr. Braun's forehead swell in response to the shaking. How many times do I have to tell you not to shake the building? Cute girls or not, I ain't letting you off. Your rent's going up. Wait, Mr. Braun, this isn't our doing. It's an earthquake. My magic eye, reading Steiner, predicted this would happen. An earthquake? You think I'll fall for that? The shaking gets more intense, knocking over his CRT. Braun Tube-chan, no! Crap, I can't talk my way out of this one. Okabe, you bastard! Mr. Braun clearly wants to snap my neck like a twig, but he elects to protect his greatest treasure, the 42-inch CRT, instead. He grabs the remote and switches it off, then grabs hold of the TV and hangs on for dear life. Oh. Is it over? Looks like it. Wait. It's over? I carefully step through the rubble and take the remote from the dazed Mr. Braun's hand. I press the red power button. The 42-inch CRT instantly comes to life. I stare at the image on the screen and smile. What's wrong? I've done it. I've done it. This is the lifter. It's obvious. Why didn't I see it before? Of course. This must be the work of Stein's gate. It chose this moment for a reason. What the hell are you laughing about, Okabe? You're scaring my daughter. I'm raising your rent, you hear? And you're paying for that CRT. A little silence, please, Mr. Braun. This is the most glorious moment. For I have just been chosen, as the ruler of all space and time. God. Stars explode behind my eyes as Mr. Braun drives his fist into the top of my head. The world spins. I struggle to get a hold of my shaken brain. You dare lay hands on the grate? Got something to say? Well then, Mr. Braun, put it on my tab. With that, I fly out of the workshop. I rub my head. It hurts like hell. Damn that Mr. Braun. Did he really have to crack me so hard? Maybe I should report him for assault. Thanks to his brutality, I had to make a strategic retreat. Fortunately, I did not emerge empty-handed. The extra 10,000 yen a month will hurt. But in exchange, I have acquired information essential to the success of my plan. All's well that ends well. Okuren, the building just shook. Are you okay? Mayori and Kurisu appear in the second-story window. Looks like you really are unlikable. Unkillable, wow. I have seen the future, Christina. In 3 minutes, you will be on your knees praising my greatness. I don't think so. I ran up the stairs. How could you miss something so obvious? When I tell Karisu about the 42-inch CRT downstairs, that is her first reaction. Why are you blaming me? I'm not blaming you. I'm just disappointed that nobody, including myself, noticed. We missed the forest for the trees. To summarize, just now, when the phone wave, named subject to change, shook the building, the 42-inch CRT was on. But when Mr. Braun turned the TV off, the shaking stopped immediately. The discharge was interrupted. I put a banana in just to be sure. Nothing happened. I'm glad. We shouldn't waste food. Nobody replies to Mayuri's off-point statement. We're busy reading about cathode ray tubes on the internet. It doesn't take long before we find something interesting. The cathode ray tube has a component called an electron gun, which uses extreme heat and strong electrical fields to accelerate electrons and turn them into a beam. The electron beam striking the TV screen's phosphor layer is what generates the picture. An electron gun could certainly work as a lifter. We found the answer. The electrons emitted by the 42-inch CRT are holding a phone wave's black hole open, and the discharge phenomenon is the result. So the reason we can't use the phone wave at night is because the Braun Tube Workshop's closed. The Braun Tube Workshop doesn't have especially strict business hours, but it's usually open from around 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That matches up perfectly with my observation that the phone wave, named subject to change, only works between noon and 6 p.m. A few instances it hasn't worked during that time frame can be explained by the TV being off. But how can a cathode ray tube emit such a strong electron stream? It's not about having a strong electron stream. If stronger were better, and CERN would have solved the lifter problem long ago. I see. So it can't be too strong or too weak. By free coincidence, the 42-inch CRT's electron gun appears to have exactly the right level of electron discharge. That's the only explanation. Somehow, the conditions here were perfect to create a time machine. Frankly, it's a miracle. No, Christina, not a miracle. This is the choice of Stein's gate. Rather than glare at me as she has so many times in the past, Karisu shoots me an exasperated smile. Whatever it is, it worked. Mayuri looks up from her costume with a question in her eyes. So, what do we have to do to complete Super Phone Wave Chan? Now that we found the cause, there's nothing left to hold us back. We can safely conclude that time leaping is possible when, and only when, that television is on. We should probably test it, right? And there's still the final check of the phone wave to do. You're right, Okabe. Rather, you're right. Period, Okabe. What? Go downstairs and turn that TV back on. That's hilarious, Christina. Allow me to dub that Mission Impossible. I am not going back down there. My head still hurts from last time. Next time, I doubt I'll make it out alive. Whatever. Just go already. Karisu orders me with a sour look. It's like I am the assistant here. If anyone can do it, it's you. You made an amazing discovery just now, didn't you? Assistant mine. Have you finally recognized my greatness as a mad scientist? No. Damn, that was harsh. Oh, whoops. Was I supposed to flatter him so he'd feel like going? Right? Yes. You're an amazing mad scientist. It's too late. Anyway, now that we've found the lifter, Time Leap machine is 99% complete. Kurisu's expression suddenly turned serious, but I can see the hunger in her eyes and the flush of excitement on her cheeks. She knows that we stand on the threshold of a new age of science, and she cannot resist the lure of the unknown. She's a true scientist. No doubt about it. It's your dream, isn't it, to invent a time machine? Our dream. I've never really thought about it that way. But she's right. My hands are shaking. Not from fear of Mr. Braun, but from excitement. I will become the undisputed Lord of Time. With that power, I will shatter the system and chaos will rule the... Okabe. Kurisu interrupts my speech. I wasn't asking Kyouma. I was asking Okabe. She spears me with her gaze. I meet it head on. After a few moments, I feel my mouth curve into a smile. I'll do it. Leave it to me. With that, I head downstairs. A cracked skull and an empty wallet are a small price to pay for science. Kurisu and Daru send me off with applause for some reason. Mayuri is the only one who looks worried, but I pat her head in reassurance. When I get downstairs, Suzuha and the chipmunk are sitting side by side on the bench outside. What's up? Nei gives me a quick bow, then hides behind Suzuha. That shaking upstairs put the boss in a bad mood. Nei and I are waiting it out. Damn, now I really don't want to go in there. Are you okay? Dad hit you pretty hard. I'll have you know that my brain is more valuable than the Mona Lisa. Your father may have set humanity back 100 years by wiping out my brain cells. Such a regrettable loss. Suzuha clasps her hands in a solemn prayer. But I'm not dead, just my brain cells. I am sorry. Daddy did something bad. Chipmunk, what a gentle heart you have. I can't believe she's Mr. Braun's daughter. I suppose I share some of the blame. Your father and I are even. Nei smiles slightly at my words of comfort. Now then, part-time warrior, I have a request for you. I need you to distract Mr. Braun for about 5 minutes. Seconds? Rather. Suzuha's eyes start to shine. You mean seduce him? She flexes her bicep for some reason. Go on, touch it. She insists, so I poke it. It's just as hard as her confidence suggests. She's probably stronger than me. But I don't understand what flexing has to do with seduction. Nobody said anything about seduction. It doesn't matter how you do it. I'm not much of a warrior if I can't handle that. Besides, you said you'd help me search for my father, right? I'm only returning the favor. I see. Then, I leave it in your capable hands. Okie dokie. Suzuha, don't be mean to Daddy, okay? Ahaha, don't worry. I won't be mean. Indeed. I want to complain that he's the one being mean, but I just said we were even, so I refrain. Wait here, Nei. The chipmunk nods. When we enter the store, we find Mr. Braun cleaning up the pieces of the broken CRT. When our eyes meet, another vein pops on his forehead. If you came to apologize, I'll listen, but your rent's going up, understand? I'm sorry about what happened. I overreacted. As a token of apology, my lab's representative, Amane Suzuha, would like to present you with a gift. Boss, get ready! With a vigorous shout, which in no way seems appropriate for seduction, Suzuha whips off her jacket and... Yeah! Throws it into Mr. Braun's face. What? I can see her bra. No, wait. That's not a bra, but a tight tank top that leaves her midriff bare. Yet Suzuha shows no sign of embarrassment as she rushes Mr. Braun. She slips behind him, grabs her coat, and pulls it tight against his face. Okabe Rintaro, now is your chance. No, wait just a second. This is your idea of seduction? It looks like you're trying to suffocate him. Hurry! Mr. Braun flails his arms, trying to escape Suzuha's restraint. There's a huge difference in strength between the two. It's only a matter of time before he shakes Suzuha off. Well done, warrior. Your heroism will be remembered. Realizing that the only choice is to go for it, I dash to the counter, grab the remote, and switch on the 42-inch CRT. After about 2 seconds, an image appears on the giant screen. At the same time, the ceiling starts shaking. Kurisu activated the phone wave name subject to change with perfect timing. It's shaking again, Okabe. What's going on? Did she really take off her clothes without knowing why? You're a lifesaver, part-time warrior. If you can, keep it restrained for 10 more seconds. During that time, I escaped from the store. Outside maze, following earthquake drill procedure, crouching while protecting her head. I ignore that and look up to the second floor. At exactly the same time, Kurisu appears in the window and gives me a happy thumbs up. But a second later, she blushes, shoots me a glare, and disappears inside as if nothing happened. What's with her attitude? I'm risking my life here. In any case, the experiment was a success. The 42-inch CRT was the key, as I suspected. Now, how do I explain this to Mr. Braun? I don't want him to kick us out of the building. Perhaps I shouldn't have left it to Suzuha. I timidly peek into the store to gauge the situation. Come on, boss! Give me back my jacket! Suzuha is there, fidgeting in her tank top as Mr. Braun glares down at her. Shut up. I'm confiscating this. You pervert! You're the pervert, throwing your shirt in my face like some kind of dancer. That was pretty kinky. Gotta remember to thank Okabe after I kill him. Kinky? Don't say things like that. It's gross. Anyway, you can work like that for the rest of the day. Go stand out front and use that flat tummy of yours to attract customers. I'll tell Nay on you. Haha, who's gonna believe? You? Who's she going to believe, you or her old man? Damn. No problems here. Suzuha's seduction strategy worked, I guess. Mr. Braun. What a guy. A little while later, I'm lying on the sofa watching high school baseball. Kumamoto and Aichi are locked in a fierce struggle for the playoffs. Just then, the clack-clack of the sewing machine in the lounge suddenly stops. Okarin, can you come here? She motions to me while holding the costume. What does she want? I walk over to her. Can you hold this for me? Spread it out like... Whap. Mayushi, say whap again. Whap. I got a whap. Stop it already, perv. I follow Mayuri's directions and spread the costume out by the sleeves. She inspects it from a few paces away. It's hard to believe, given her usual ditziness, but Mayuri is very serious about her art. That's why cosplayers value her costumes so highly. The costume I'm holding now is custom made for Lukuko. I thought Lukuko was against it, but I guess Mayuri managed to persuade her. Okay, thanks. Mayuri looks tired. She's been working all night. But that doesn't dim the brightness of her satisfied smile. Finished! It's done. Yep. I finished before Chris-chan. We were racing. You and Mayuri. Congratulations. Damn you, assistant. She treats me and Daru like garbage, but Mayuri gets us the sisterly touch. Actually, I'm just about finished too. Kurisu connects the two cords she's holding. Done. Celebration is in order. But nobody cheers. It's a tie. Man, I'm tired. I want Ferris to comfort me. Honestly, I don't feel like cheering either. And it's not because I'm tired. We worked around the clock for 3 straight days to finish the time leap machine. But now that it is complete, I realize that part of me never truly believed it would happen. I feel my enthusiasm cooling rapidly, the fire quenched by one stark question. What do we do with it? I look at Kurisu. She too seems less than enthused. We may have created a monster here. I look at the improved phone wave name subject to change again. The biggest change is the headgear attached to the X68000. It looks like something out of a low-budget cyberpunk movie. Fortunately, we don't have nerve jacks or brain chips for it to work. You just put it on and let the sensors do the rest. Why don't we decide what to call it first? I vote Heavenly Express. Phonewave 3rd Edition version 1.0. Silly Hat Phonewave-chan. No consensus. You guys have too much free time. Does that mean you're abstaining from the vote? Time Leap Machine. That's terrible. Come on, simple is best, right? I mean, that's what Okabe's been calling it for the past few days. Looks like my assistant has zero naming sense. I don't want to hear that from a Chinabuyo headcase like you. Oh, so Makashi knows the word Chinabuyo. I sense your otaku level is quite high. I heard it from a friend. I have no idea where it comes from. Ha, a bald-faced lie. She should just confess to being an at-channeler. Kurisu meets my grin with an icy glare. It's up to you, Mayuri. Choose one. Whenever the lab is divided on a name, the right to decide belongs to Mayuri. I think Time Leap Machine's fine. Silly Hat Phone Wave-chan is super close though. Somehow I knew she'd say that. Like I said, simple is best. Mayuri gets it. I want to object, but it's an unwritten rule not to complain once Mayuri's made a decision. Very well. Time Leap Machine it is. Assistant, explain for us how the Time Leap Machine works. I know the basics, but I want to hear the details. Kurisu nods and stands in front of the whiteboard. In short, this device converts memories to data and sends them to the past. Let's begin with what we all know. By freak coincidence, the phone wave is able to produce ring singularities, much like John Titor's time machine. Through the ring singularity, we are able to send up to 36 bytes of data to the past. The signal can only be received by phones. While that does limit the range of effect, it also removes an element of uncertainty from the equation. Unlike D-mails, memory data is sent in the form of a phone call, so we will be using a phone number, not an email address, to set the destination. The ring singularity is made naked and stable by a device known as a lifter. In our case, that's the 42-inch CRT downstairs. She's explained the basics. Next, she'll explain the modifications she's made to turn the phone wave name subject to change into the Time Leap Machine. The phone wave now has headgear attached. This headgear records the nerve impulses in the temporal lobe of the brain, specifically the CA3 region of the hippocampus, where memories are stored. Then, using VR technology, we encode the nerve impulses into electrical signal data. It comes out to approximately 3.24 terabytes. 3.24 terabytes. It's less than I expected. We're talking about the entirety of a person's memories. By the way, we'll set it up so that the data decodes automatically after a certain amount of time. Anybody well-versed in programming can do this. I had Hashida make the code. Anyway, next we send the memory data through the net to the LHC in France. This building has a direct line to CERN for some reason, so we can transfer data at insanely high speeds. How long does it take to send 3.24 terabytes of data? We have 64 direct lines in parallel, so if we send it in 64 parts, it should upload in about 45 seconds. That's pretty fast. Next, we hijack the LHC, create a mini black hole, and use that black hole's supergravity to compress the data into 36 bytes.
36バイトまで圧縮する。
3 terabytes is about 3 trillion bytes. Compressing that into just 36 bytes. That's one hell of a squeeze.
圧縮にも時間がかかるのか。
Will the compression take long? It's practically instantaneous. 23 milliseconds or thereabouts. We're using a black hole after all.
ちなみに
By the way, the compression only holds in the immediate vicinity of the black hole.
そこから
Once
離
the
れた
data
時点で
leaves that area,
デー
it
タ
will
を勝手
begin
に
to
回答を
decompress
始
on
め
its
で
own.
す。回答までにかかる時間も
This too
圧縮
takes
時と同じ
23 milliseconds.
その間に
It has to make it back to the X68000 and into the phone wave within that window. It's only 36 bytes. Shouldn't be a problem.
クリスティーナ、
Continue, Christina.
タイムリープマシン側では
While the data is
起動
being
と同時に
compressed, we
カー
use
ブ
the
ラックホ
phone
ール
wave
効
to
果が
generate
発
a
生して
current ring
リングと空
singularity.
点が生成され
When
る。
the electron discharge
放
phenomenon
電現
occurs,
象が発生した
we
ら
take the 36
LHC
byte
から
data, patch it
30
in,
リングと空点内を
and send it
通り
to
抜
the
く。この
past.
辺は
This
電話レン
part
ジという
is
ことは同じ。
just like a D-mail.
データは
The
タイマ
data
ーに入力
travels
して
to
おいた
the
時間
specified
分を
time
遡
where
り
it arrives
過
at
去
the
の携帯
receptionist's
電話へ
phone.
とリングと空点を通
By
り抜
now,
けて過去の携
23
帯電話に到
milliseconds
達
should have
する頃
passed,
に
so
は
the data will be fully
23ミリ秒
decompressed.
が回答と同時にデコードプログラムが
Next,
展
the
開して
decoding program runs,
電気信号から
converting the
神経
data
パルス信号
back
に戻
into
す。
nerve impulse signals.
受信先の携帯電
These
話に到
signals
達
are
すると
discharged from
神
the
経パル
phone's
ス信号
earpiece
は
at approximately
総和口から
0.02
0.02
amperes,
アンペ
a
アほど
pretty
の
weak
微
charge.
弱。これが携帯電話を
If the
耳に当ててい
recipient
る
has
受
the
信
phone
者
to his ear, they
こ
should
め
go
かみ付
straight
近
into
に
his brain,
放射される。
受信者が電話の呼
assuming
び
he
出しに
answers
出る
his
の
phone.
でなければ
If
記
he
憶の
doesn't,
転
the
送は
transfer
失敗に終わ
fails.
る。
Fortunately, we lose
まあ
nothing
こ
but
の場
that
合は
copy of
特
the
にデ
memory
メリット
data.
は何も。
メールではなく
Why a phone call instead of an email?
携帯電話が受
Because
信
we
者
need
の
the
こめかみ
recipient to
付
put
近
the
にあ
phone
る
to
こと
his
で
ear, otherwise
デー
the
タを受
signals
信者
won't
の
reach
側
his
頭葉
temporal
に
lobe.
送り込みやすくなるから。
She indicates the side of her head.
人間のこめかみ周
In this
辺に
area,
は
you have
大
the
脳前
frontal
頭
lobe
葉
and
と
temporal
大
lobe of
脳
the
側
brain.
頭葉が一致してるんだけど、
As I explained before, the
最初に言った通り
hippocampus, where memories are
側
stored,
頭葉
is
は
inside the
海馬
temporal
妨
lobe.
害。そこに送信者の全記
The
憶の
phone
塊
wave,
である
the phone
神経
sends
パル
out
ス信号
electrical
が
impulses
携
that
帯電話から放
pass
射される。
through
これで記憶の上書きは完
the
了。
temporal lobe and into the hippocampus, overwriting the recipient's memories.
同時に携帯電話からは
At the same
前頭
time,
葉を
the
刺
phone
激する
sends
神経パル
impulses
ス
that
信号を出
stimulate
す
the
が、
frontal lobe as
これ
well.
重要。
This is important.
前頭葉から側頭葉へ
Remember
は
that the frontal
トップ
lobe
ダウ
is
ン記憶
responsible
検
for
索信
sending
号というのが
retrieval
発信
signals
さ
to
れ
the
ている。
temporal lobe.
これは
This
記
is
憶
how
を
you
思い出す
remember
ときに発
things.
信する前頭葉を刺激す
By
る神
stimulating
経
the
パルスを
frontal
放射
lobe,
することで
we force
この
it to send
トップダウン
retrieval
記憶検
signals
索し、これによって
keyed to the new memory data.
送信者から
Thus,
送
the
られた全
recipient
記憶
recalls
を
all those
受信
memories
者
as
に
if
強
they
制
were
的
his
に
own,
未来の記憶
which of
を
course they are,
思い出すの
or
よ。
will be in the future.
それに必要な時間は
This
1秒
happens
に
in
満た
less
ない
than a second.
結果受信
Now
者
the
の送信
recipient
者と
has
全く
the
同じ
same
記憶を
memories
持
as
つ
the
状態と
sender.
なり
The
タ
time
イム
leap
リープは
is complete.
例えば送
If
信
the
者と
data
受信者の時
came
間差
from
が
one week in the
1週
future,
間
the
ある
recipient
場合
will
受信
remember
者は
that
1週
week
間
as
後の
if
未来ま
he
でに
experienced it
自分
firsthand.
注意すべきなのは
We need to be
意識や
aware that
人格は
consciousness and
転送しない
personality
という
aren't transferred. Both of
その
those
2つ
depend
は
on the
受
recipient.
信者に
おっぱいに例えて教え
Explain
て
it
くれ
with boobs.
お
Boobs? Kurisu dissolves into a blushing, stammering mess. Looks like it's up to me to answer Daughter's question. Not with boobs, obviously.
現在のダル
Let's say we send your memories to
小
you
学生
in
の頃
grade
の
school.
今のダルは
Right now, you're some kind of omnisexual pervert who thinks inanimate objects are hot. But in elementary school, you are still an innocent child.
小学校時代の僕は
I was a boring little bastard who did nothing but study. What of it?
つまり
Basically, that little bastard would suddenly have all your perverted memories, but his personality wouldn't change.
その真面目な見た目はプロ
It's not like you'll become that famous anime detective with the looks of a child and the brains of an adult.
なんだ
What?
つまらん
That sucks. This isn't like the time leaping you see in sci-fi novels. We aren't yet capable of transferring personality and consciousness. Ahem.
えっと
Since you need a phone to receive the signal, you can only send memories to the times you
記
had
憶を
one.
送れ注意すべきなの
We
は
also need to make sure that the sender and
同
recipient
一人
are
物
the
で
same
なけれ
person.
ばならん例えば
If
過去
someone
の自分で
besides your
はな
past
く
self, your
親
parents
や
or a
友
friend,
達が
for
代わり
instance,
に出てしまっ
answers the
た場合
phone, then the nerve
神
impulse
経パル
signals
ス
will
信
be
号は
projected
そ
into
の
their
親
brain
や友
instead.
達に向けてそうなると
If that happens, your
親や友
memories
達
could
の体に
overwrite theirs,
送信者
which
の記憶が
could
上書
obviously
きされ
cause
てしま
some
う
serious damage
下
to
手を
their
すると
psyche.
重大な人格障害が起きるかもしれない
Ends her explanation and takes a short breath. The lab falls into silence. I exchange glances with Kurisu and Daru. I look at Mayuri, but her expression is blank. I guess it was too complicated for her.
それで
So, I clear my throat. It's time for the $1,000,000 question.
どうする
What do we do with it?
どうするって
Do with what?
タイムリープ
The time leap machine, of course. What do we do with it? For once, my assistant has nothing to say. I already know that she fears we've created a monster. Honestly, I feel the same way. After a few moments, Kurisu finally speaks.
私たちの手に
There's
負え
too
る
much
代
for
物
us to
じゃない
handle,
のは
that's for
確か
sure. The safest thing would be to hand it
一番
over
無
to
難
the
なのは
government
研
for
究機関に
professional
譲渡して
research.
国家プロジェクト扱いにしてもらうこ
I
と
could tell that she's not pleased to have reached this conclusion. She obviously would prefer to experiment with this technology. After all, it's humanity's first time machine. We've finally taken our first steps towards godhood. I'm sure that the nations of the world would buy billions just for one look at our machine. The possibilities that it represents are limitless.
実感が湧かないな
It just doesn't feel real.
マヨシ
Mayushi doesn't get it.
いや眉氏は何も
That's
手
because
伝
you
ってな
didn't
い
work
から
on it, Mayushi. Oh, right.
岡部の意見は
What about you,
ちなみ
Okabe?
に法案じゃ
And
なく
I
て
mean you, not
Okabe
Hoen
だって
Kyouma. I agree with Kurisu that the time leap machine is dangerous. On the other hand,
実験してみたい気
I
持ちは
want to experiment. I state my honest feelings. Kurisu gasps.
だが
But there are still questions we need to answer. This is unknown territory,
問題が多すぎ
not
る
just for us, but for all of humanity.
誰が
Who will time leap?
タイムリープするんだ
I look at each of the lab members in turn. Daru quickly looks away. Mayuri's expression is blank. Kurisu stares right back at me.
誰って決めるのは
It's hard to choose.
僕はパス
I'll pass. Huh? Not a single person here wants the honor of being history's first time traveler. Everyone, except for Mayuri, is probably thinking about what could go wrong. What if the time leap were to fail?
シルンのタイムマ
It's
シン
not
み
like
たいに
CERN's time machine. The
ジェリーマン化
possibility
す
of
る可能
becoming a
性は
jelly
ゼロ
man is zero.
このマシンで送るのはデ
This
ータであっ
means
て
this
実物じゃ
machine
ないんだ
sends
から
data, not the real thing.
タイムリープに対する
Don't
先
let
入
your
観にと
preconceptions
らわれない
influence your decision.
まるで意識その
You
もの
might
を
say it's
カ
like
ット
a
ペー
cut
スト
and
するよう
paste
に
of your brain.
そうじゃなくて
Actually, it's more like a
あくまでも
copy paste,
コピー
and
ペ
it's
ース
just
ト
your
の
memories.
オリジナルが消え
The
ることはない
original doesn't get erased. That's a very easy. That is a very easy to understand example. But that's not the problem. Time flows in a straight line from past to present to future. At least that's how most humans see it. This raises several questions.
過去へ転送したデータが
What if there's an error somewhere
フラ
and
グ
the
で構
data
造化してしまう可能
gets
性がある
fractalized?
もし仮に
Let's say
俺が
I
一番
sent my
前に
memories
タイ
an
ムリー
hour
プ
into the
フラクタル
past.
構造化
My
に
memories would be replaced by fractalized data. In other words, data full of tiny holes. Couldn't that cause memory loss?
かもね
I suppose.
もしそうなった場合
1 hour later, we
その1時
arrive
間後には
once again
現
at
在
the
に到達
present.
することになる
At that time, the me who lost his memories an hour ago and the current
1
me
時間遡って
conflict in
記
my
憶喪失
brain.
どちらのデータが生き
Which
残る
data set survives?
理屈で考えれば
Logically, the present should
1時間
change
前に
as
コピー
soon
が
as you
移され
send
た
your
時点で
memories to the past.
今も変化するか
The
ら
conflicting current me disappears. Then,
それはつまり
so then it's not a copy paste at all, is
わ
it?
からない
I don't
まだ
know.
かつて
No one's ever experienced time
時間を超
travel
越とした前例が
before.
D メールでは
When we send a email, the world is reconstructed based on the change we made to the past. I'm the only one who's aware of this, however.
タイムリープしてどう
We
な
don't
る
know what happens when you
わ
time
からない
leap.
タイターが言うように多世界
If
解
it's the
釈な
many
ら
worlds interpretation like
タイムリープ
Titor
した時
said,
点
then
で
the
別の
instant
世
you
界
time
線に
leap,
分
it
岐
creates
す
two
る可能性
possibilities.
と
One where you
同
shift
じ
to
世
another
界線
world
のま
line,
ま時
and
間
one
だ
where
けを
you travel
遡る
back
可
in
能性
time
が
on the same
同時
world
に存
line.
在すると同時に現在の
Of
岡部が
course,
消えない可
there
能
must
性の世界
also
線
be
も
a world line where the current you doesn't disappear. That would likely correspond to the present that we are experiencing right now. But that's only if the many worlds interpretation holds in the first place.
お前は
I thought you didn't believe what Titor had
信
to
じてい
say.
ないのだろう。
可能性の話をしている。
I'm talking
タイターは
hypothetically.
この際どうでもいい。
Titor doesn't matter right now.
コペンハーゲン解釈なら
If it's the Copenhagen interpretation, then every possible state propagates through space as a wave function. When a particular state is observed, the remaining states collapse and that state is fixed. But precise observation is impossible.
観測者は誰か。
The problem is who the observer is in this case.
第三者じゃねえ。
Wouldn't it be a third party, like me or Mayoshi?
そうとは限らない
Not。necessarily. It might be me.
観測
It
者は
might be
俺
someone
かもし
else.
れないし、
It could even be God.
それ以外の誰か
To
かもしれ
begin
ない
with,
し
the Copenhagen interpretation and the many worlds interpretation are both microscale theories used to explain quantum interactions. No one knows whether they can be applied to humans or to the world at large. What about my personal experiences with reading Steiner? If reading Steiner is the sort of power I think it is, then the worldline model is correct.
結局は
In the end, we arrive at the question of where is the self?
このタイムリープマシン
This
が
time
転
leap
送する
machine
のは
only sends memories. That I guarantee.
それは間違いない。
転送された時点で
Won't the
今も
present be
再構成
reconstructed
さ
at
れ
the
るんじゃ
moment
ね
of transfer?
オカリンはリーディ
That's
ン
what
グシュタイ
happens
ナ
with
ーでそれと
Okarin's
同じ
reading
ような
Steiner,
現象
right?
D メールの場合はそれ
That
だと
makes sense where
でき
D mails are concerned. When we send a D mail, we're obviously interfering in past events.
しかしタイムリー
But time leaping is different.
自分の記憶
All
を
you
過
do
去
is
に
send
送
your
り込む
memories to
行
the
為である
past, which isn't the same
干
as
渉す
sending
るか
a
しないかを明
targeted
確
D
にして
mail.
未来の記憶を思い
Whether
出し
the
た1
me
時間前
who
の
suddenly
俺が
remembers 1 hour into the future will in fact change the past is something we can't know until it happens.
頭が
I'm getting confused.
なんかもう宗
It
教の
sounds like
分
we're
野じゃね
talking
え
about the soul.
魂
Isn't
は
that a
どこに
religious
あるかっ
question?
て話
待って
Wait, you guys are misunderstanding something.
人格と意識
1
は
hour isn't enough time for your personality to change.
今の岡
You
部
should be the same person 1 hour ago that you are now.
1時間分の
The
記
only
憶を持っ
difference
てい
is
るか
that
い
you'll
ないか
have an extra hour's worth of memories.
そうなのか
How can you be sure?
本当に
絶対とは
Well,
言い
I
切れない
can't.
けど
Nobody's tried it
何しろ
before. This
誰も試
discussion's
したこ
going
とも
nowhere.
ないんだから
Personality and consciousness can't be strictly defined, so it's hard to imagine what might happen.
結局
So, which is it?
だから
We don't know.
わからないの
We can argue the theories all we want,
ここでど
but
れ
in
だ
the
けう
end,
だうだ議
we
論し
can
たっ
only
て
guess.
この実験は
This experiment may end up shattering preconceptions scientists and philosophers have
崩
held
壊さ
for
せるものになる
centuries.
かもね
We won't know until we try. That pretty much sums it up. To make matters worse, the subject must be prepared to risk damage to their psyche. Kurisu, Dara, and I say no more. We can't solve this problem. This is our limit as scientists. But haven't we accomplished enough already? The time leap machine itself is worthy of a Nobel Prize. We could sell this technology for billions, if we so chose. And if we go public with the time leap machine, we could break CERN's monopoly on the time travel technology. That's enough. It has to be. Hey! Mayuri, who has been observing the discussion with glassy eyes, opens her mouth to speak. I have an idea. Why don't we make a banana time leap instead?
マユリ
Oh, Mayuri.
バナナには
Bananas
人
don't
間み
have
たいに
brains
脳
like
はない
people
でしょ
do. Oh, you need a brain. Oh. Mayuri never changes. The atmosphere in the room gets a little more relaxed.
実験は
Let's not experiment.
タイムリープマシン
We'll
を
entrust the time leap machine to a
力
suitable
を
research
研究機関に
institution.
託そう
Then we'll announce it to the world.
そして
Thanks to the lightening
世間を
of
公表する
the mood, I can finally say what was on my mind. Neither Kurisu nor Daru objects. No one has touched the time leap machine since that discussion. Ridiculous as it sounds, I can't shake the feeling that it might suck my memories out and fling them into the past. Oh, the machine does have its appeal, so of course. We're all tempted by the idea of becoming humanity's first time leapers. Yet the fear of what could happen won out in the end. Perhaps, as a way to forget our fears and move on, we decide to hold a celebration to mark the completion of the device. Everyone feels the need to let loose after working so hard on the project. I have Daru order pizza while Kurisu and I go shopping for snacks. Akaba, has always had a lack of supermarkets. That hasn't changed even with the anime stores gone. After we finish shopping, Cursor and I walk along the evening streets. She looks like she's got something to say. She keeps stealing glances at me. Are you upset? Upset? She frowns, like she didn't expect that question. Finally, she faces this way. About our decision not to attempt a time leap experiment. No, I'm not upset. Humans are temporal beings. That's a Heidegger quote. I was actually relieved when you made the decision not to use the time machine. If you hadn't been there, I might not have been able to stop myself. Thank you. What's this? Gratitude? Does she have a fever? I put my hand on her forehead to check. Cursor twitches. What are you doing? You're talking like an assistant for a change. I thought you might have a fever. I dropped my hand. I'm not grateful to you or anything, okay? Her voice is louder than it should be, and several people glare at us. Glance. Percy blushes and hangs her head. If Daru were here, he'd probably get all excited and say, "A real tsundere, sweet." Anyway, Percy clears her throat and returns to her usual sour expression. That, thank you, was just a formality. Don't get me wrong, okay? Of course. I only did what I had to. I am the founder of the Future Gadget Lab, Jumpman Kyouma. My first priority is to protect the welfare of my lab members, so I have no need for your things. And yet you always talk about plunging the world into chaos. You are my allies, and the world is my enemy. I am speechless. You are too self-righteous. You say speechless, yet you are speaking? Don't argue semantics. It's quite mysterious, really. It's only been 2 weeks since Chris and I met, and yet it already feels natural for us to be walking together, exchanging banter like this. Perhaps pooling our efforts to create something new, dangerous though it may be, has brought us closer together. I admit that her knowledge and skills are impressive. I'd like her to remain at the lab, if at all possible, but she said that she's going back to America this month. It's already the 13th, so I wonder when she plans to return. Side note by me, it's also Friday the 13th. I decided to ask her. Oh yeah, I forgot to get a plane ticket. I got too caught up in improving the phone wave. Going public with the time leap machine will send the world into an uproar. We also plan to expose CERN, remember? You may not be able to go back to America for some time. I guess you're right. I should call Mama and let her know. Looks like things are going to get busy. Naturally, I want Carissa to stay with us to the end. A little bit after we return to the lab, Mayuri gets back. I'm back! Seems Mayuri went to Lukaku's. Suzuha shows up a few minutes later, and our development council comes to order. Daru ordered 3 pizzas. We also line up all the snacks we brought on the table. Bought. It's just like the party we had a few days ago to cheer up Suzuha. Mayuri wanted to decorate the room, but since everyone's tired, I dismissed it as unnecessary. Looks like Suzuha managed to retrieve her jacket from Mr. Braun. Man, that was terrible. I was stuck looking like an exhibitionist all day. The Braun tube workshops closed. Suzuha made sure the 42-inch CRT was turned off, so there's no need to fear any malfunction from the time leap machine. A heavy sigh escapes my throat. I realize that I've been tense and nervous since the time leap machine was completed. Now I can finally relax. The topic of the time leap machine has become taboo. Even Kurisu doesn't bring it up during the meeting. Daru, why did you order the exact same pizza as before? I opened the pizza boxes to find the exact same ones he got for Suzuha's party. Because I like it. Naturally, I am not amused. Okarin. I called Fieris-chan and Luka-chan, but they said they can't come.
そうか
Oh,
何か
do they have
用事でもあったの
plans? Fieris-chan has a Rainet tournament.
しまった
Crap, I should have gone to cheer. How careless of me. And Luka-chan seems embarrassed for some reason.
ここに来たら
Maybe she thinks you'll make her wear a costume again.
コスプレの件か
You still haven't
もしかし
convinced
て
her
ま
to
だ説得で
cosplay?
きていないのか
Then what was the point of completing the costume? She said it was embarrassing. I keep telling her cuteness is justice, but she never listens.
可愛いは正義
Cuteness is justice.
そんな言
Is
葉が
that what they say?
クリスちゃんも
You're cute too,
可愛
Chris-chan.
いよ
Huh?
え
Huh? Kurisu doesn't know how to react. She blushes and Mayuri starts teasing her like a drunk old man. There's no alcohol at this party, of course. Hey, Kamima's coming up. Wanna go?
出て新作は無理だけどね
I can't make something new, but I have a costume of post-awakening Sere from Blood Tune I made last year. I think the size is just right for Chris-chan too. Me? Cosplay? Kurisu looks conflicted. Then she murmurs,
ちょっと
I'm
興味ある
sorta interested. She sure could have fooled us before, pretending to have no interest in otaku culture.
でも
But
私も人
I
前に出
refuse to
る
do
のは
it in
お断り
public
だから
though.
着るだけでいい
You don't have to show anyone, but eventually, you'll want them to see. The cosplay demon compels you. The cosplay demon?
そういえば
That reminds me. Chris-chan, you're always wearing that cute
可
uniform.
愛い制服着て
What school is it from?
あ
Oh,
これ
this? Kurisu lifts up her necktie.
2週間だけ
I
あや
attend
め院に逆留学みたいなことしてたんだけどそこの制
Ayame.
服を改造してきてるの
Ayame. For about 2 weeks. I modeled this outfit after their uniform.
あ
Oh, their uniform is really cute. But you made it even cuter. You might have really good design sense.
あ明日コス
I'll bring the costume tomorrow, okay?
そしたら
Will you try it on then?
いいわ
Sure. Looks like Kurisu approves of the cuteness is justice philosophy.
撮影会は何時からで
When's
す
the
か
photo shoot?
相変わらず橋田は
Good to
変
know you're
態
still
道
a
を邁
pervert,
進中だ
Hashida.
な
だって
Come on. It's Blood Tune Sere. She's got Panamoro. Going on.
パンモロ
Panmoro?
パンツがもろに
It
見え
means
て
her
いる
panties are
のが
completely
逆
exposed. Huh? No,
嘘
no way.
大丈夫だよ
It's okay.
クリスちゃんは
You
知らない
might not know this, but last year there was a really popular saying,
パンツじゃない
they're not
おか
panties,
しくないもん
so it's not embarrassing.
いやいや
It's plenty embarrassing, trust me.
絶対着てね
Wear it, okay? It's a promise.
やめといた方がいいんじゃ
Maybe
ない
you
か
shouldn't bother. Suzuha speaks, her tone sharp. She's scowling at Kurisu again. Suddenly the atmosphere in the room changes.
マキセクリスを信じ
You're asking for trouble by trusting Nakase Kurisu.
それ
What's
Don't
that
you-
supposed to mean? Naturally, my strong-willed assistant isn't one to back down from a fight. Sparks fly between the two girls.
この前から思ってた
I've
んだ
been meaning to ask, did I do something to you?
直接は
Not to me, but I know everything you have done.
何よ
What do you mean?
私がした
I've
こと
done nothing to be guilty of.
でしょうね
Perhaps, but I know your true nature.
すごい
Wow. You can see into my heart? That's groundbreaking technology. I'd love to hear how it works.
装置なんてない
It's not science. It's
強いて言うなら
a prediction.
つまり言いがかりっ
So
てこと
you're
か
just making it up.
事実だ
I know. Uh-oh. We've got a situation here.
おかわり
Okarin. Mayuri clings to me with teary eyes.
二人を
Stop them from fighting. This looks like a job for the one and only Jumpman Kyouma. I insert myself between the two girls. Break it up, you two. I, Jumpman Kyouma, shall decide this dispute. They both glare at me. Although I'm afraid for my life, I harden my resolve. The mission must succeed. First, I focus on Kurisu. Assistant, I didn't raise you this way.
育てられた
You
覚えも
didn't
ない
raise me at all.
Mad scientist.
If you want to become a true mad scientist, you must learn to keep your emotions in check even as you cackle your way to victory.
聞いてない
Nobody
なるつも
asked
りも
you,
ない
and I'm already a scientist. Next, I switch focus to Susa. Warrior, your enemy is Cern, remember? You must conserve your strength for Ragnarok.
岡部倫太郎
I warned you before Okaberantro Makasekurusu is a threat. What? You're going to mention that here? Now?
どういうこ
Oh,
とよ
what's
岡部
this about, Okabe? Their eyes are like laser beams boring into my skull. I want nothing more than to flee for my life. But Mayuri's watching me anxiously. I need to defuse the situation. Looks like neither of you is willing to back down. So be it. Fight to your heart's content. Fight until there's no more fight to be had. Then share a manly handshake by the river and let friendship blossom. But in the future, when it comes time for you to venture out into the real world, I hope you remember one thing. Nobody likes a mood killer.
うるさい
Shut up! Getting yelled at by both of them at the same time sends shivers down my spine. It's coming. I quickly seize my right arm. Why now? Of all times, calm down, right arm of mine. I turn around and head back to Mayuri. I'm sorry, Mayuri. At his rate, I'll end up hurting those two. I have no choice. The rest is up to you. Jeez. Mayuri puffs her chest out and goes over to the two girls.
二人とも
Guys, Miyoshi doesn't like it when you fight. Let's all get along, okay?
喧嘩は
Hearing this, the two combatants reluctantly comply.
しようよ
I expected this would happen. Mayuri is the oil that keeps the gears of this lab churning along. The throbbing in my right arm dissipates. Daru comes over to chat with Susua, and gradually peace returns to the lab. Kurisu is in the development room, making a call, probably to her mother in America. I sit on the sofa and watch TV while sipping Dr. Tea. The TV is running a game show where contestants guess the price of popular items at high-class restaurants. Mayuri sits down next to me. She peels a banana and begins eating it.
ねえね
Hey, Okarin?
Hmm?
Mayuri slowly looks around the lab, smiling all the while. It's been really lively here these past few weeks, huh?
Oh.
Yeah, I guess it has. I established the Future Gadget Laboratory around the time I entered college. It was the first step in my plan to bring chaos to the world. That was around the middle of March this year, which means it's been almost 5 months. Not half a month after it was established, Mayuri showed up. I'm still not sure why. And became a lab mem. For about a month, it was just me and Mayuri. Then, in early May, I finally got Daru to join. All it took was telling him that the lab was just 3 minutes walk from Queen Nyanya. This location on the outskirts of Akiba has always been quiet. Mayuri isn't the type to object to every little thing like Karisu, nor the type to make dumb jokes like Daru, so the lab was very peaceful back in those days. It was quite a pleasant place to be. And now the lab mem count has increased to 8. It happened in the blink of an eye, or so it seems. They didn't come today, but Lukoko visits occasionally, and Ferris is a familiar face at Queen Nyanyan, or at least she was before Queen disappeared. I remember feeling out of place the first time I came to Akiba, but now it's like a second home.
楽しいね
It's fun. Mary too seems pleased by the increase in lab mems.
あのね
Now that there are 8 lab mems, Mayushi thinks it's getting a little cramped in here.
まずね
First,
椅子が
we
足り
don't
な
have
いの
enough
です
chairs. The sofa only has room for 2. Then there's Daru's personal desk chair. Those are the only chairs in the lounge. There are some pipe chairs in the development room, but they need to stay there.
買ってこなくちゃだよ
We should buy more.
おかりん
Do you
は
have money, Okurin?
椅子を買う
All my savings. Then I'd need to get a part-time job again.
じゃ
I guess you can use some of my salary.
ああとはね
We need a new microwave too. Otherwise, I can't warm up my juicy chicken number 1.
ああ
Yeah,
それはすま
sorry
ん
about that. Cutting off Mayuri's chicken supply might actually kill her.
だがマユリタイムリープマシンを
But
譲渡
Mayuri,
して謝礼をもら
when
う
we turn over the time leap
問題は全て
machine,
解
the
決する
reward money will solve all of our problems.
椅子と電子レンジの代金と
Will it be enough to pay for chairs and a microwave on top of the higher rent?
もらえるさもっともらえる
It'll be enough. More than enough.
そうなんだ
Wow,
よかった
that's great, Okarin.
なぜそんなに
Why are you
嬉しそう
so
な
happy?
だって
Just look.
お友達
We've made so many friends.
ダルくんでしょ
There's Daru-kun,
クリスちゃん
Chris-chan,
で
Luka-chan,
しょ
Susu-san,
すず
Moika-san,
ノイカ
Theoris-chan,
フェリス
Bron-san, Nei-chan,
さん
and more.
他にも
She gazes wistfully into the distance.
春の頃は
In the spring,
他に
when you started this lab,
寂しそうだ
you
った
seemed
け
so
ど
lonely.
もう
But now you're fine.
マユシーが
You don't need me to be your hostage anymore.
それはどうい
What do you mean? I try to ask, but before I can finish. An urgent news bulletin appears on the TV. The subtitles read, Terrorist bomb threat suspends Yamanote Sobu Kaihin Tokuka lines.
爆破テロ予
A
告
bomb threat?
つうか
Hang
全部
on.
秋葉原
Those
駅
lines
通
all
ってる
pass
じゃん
through Akiba.
マユシ帰れ
How
ない
is
んじゃね
Mayushi gonna get home?
本
Oh
当だ
yeah, I should call home. A bomb threat. I don't know why, but I've got a bad feeling about this. Only the lines passing through Akihabara are suspended as if that were the target. Wait, could that be it? Could the bomb be at Akihabara station? I get a cold feeling in my stomach.
岡部倫太郎
Okabe Rintaro,
一つ
I need to know.
マシンが
You've completed the time leap machine, right? Huh? Well, yeah. Okay.
私用事を
I just remembered I've got
ちょ
something
っ
to
と出
do.
かけてくる
I'm going out. Susua leaves the lab without another word.
何なの彼女
What's wrong with her? Suzuha's acting strange. Is it related to the bomb threat? Why did she just ask about the time leap machine? Something occurs to me. The two threatening emails I received. We're watching you. You know too much. Who sent them? And there's more. Words and images flash through my head. CERN. The LHC. Jellyman. The Z program. Government secrets. The organization. Men in Black. A committee of 300. The time leap machine. What did Chris say?
私たち
We may have created a monster here.
とんでもないものを作っちゃったかもしれない
Taken separately, each of these elements was insignificant. But if I consider them part of a single line, they all point to one inescapable truth. We've come too far. Fear seizes my heart in an icy grip. I can feel anxiety eating at my brain. I can't breathe. Even though it's hot and humid, my body shivers. Should we run? Get out while we still can? We can't use the chains. What about the subway? Or would a taxi be better? Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's doing anything. What should we do? Suddenly there's a softness against my hand. I look down and see Mayuri's hand holding mine. When I look up, I see worry written on her face. It's okay. I'm just being paranoid. It's all a coincidence. Tomorrow, we'll get rid of the time leap machine. Then we can forget that all of this happened. Pretend it was just a dream. We never invented a time machine. I don't need money. As long as we can forget about today and welcome tomorrow, we'll be okay, won't we? But But as my anxiety doesn't go away, I look over Mayuri's head at the entrance to the lab. The door is unlocked. Anyone could just waltz right in. I hear sirens wailing a few streets away. The bomb threat has Akiba in an uproar. Yet here, in our corner of Akiba, it's so quiet. Mayuri squeezes my hand with her warm, slender fingers. I squeeze back. The next thing I know, the door slams open. 5 men burst into the lab. Their movements are swift and sure, professional, and each of them is carrying a gun. They spread out just inside the door and aim their weapons at us. It all happens so fast, no one has time to scream. The men are foreigners, a mix of races, dressed casually in colors, shirts, and shorts or jeans. But their arms are thick with muscle, and their eyes are hard and cold as ice. 2 of them are holding pistols. The other 3 have assault rifles. AK-47s in Akiba? Is this some kind of joke? One thing is certain, these guys aren't terrorists. Hands in the air. Nobody move. The dark-skinned, crew-cut man barks an order. It feels like I'm dreaming. Did I fall asleep watching an action movie? This is the first time so many people have gathered in this room. Suddenly the lab feels small. What an odd thing to be thinking at a time like this. The first to obey is Daru. Then Karisu raises her hands. Then me. Last is Mayuri. Silence. Time seems to grind to a halt. The men say nothing, but their guns remain steady, muzzles pointed at us. On the TV, a comedian laughs. What is this? Are we on candid camera? Then I hear a new sound coming from outside. A sound of high heels. A woman is coming up the stairs. Are these men waiting for her? Is she their leader? A squad of battle-hardened commandos led by a beautiful woman. It's like something out of a manga. Nothing seems real. Before long, the woman appears. Kiryu Moeka? The part-time editor. The male demon, Shining Finger, who is never seen without her phone. Lab Mem 005. Moeka? She's their leader? The least imposing woman I've ever met? Even now she doesn't meet my stare. Her eyes are aimed down at the floor. What's going on here? Moeka-san? We are taking the time machine. As always, her words are barely audible. It's ridiculous. Laughable. And yet I can't laugh. My heart is a jackhammer in my chest. The inside of my mouth is drier than a desert. I stay still, with my hands in the air. Makise Krisu, Ogube Rentaro, Hashira Itaru. The 3 of you will come with us. I don't understand. Why is Moeka here? I don't know, but I have to ask. What's going on here? I can't answer that. This is a joke, right? Moeka shakes her head. You don't need to know. You can't resist. Come with us. Where? No reply. She doesn't intend to answer that either. Dangerous. These guys are dangerous. Look at their guns. Nothing good can happen if we go with them. I try to refuse, but my voice catches my throat. I can't stop staring at their guns. Are they real? They're not going to start shooting, are they? I'm not going anywhere until you answer. You can't refuse. You have nowhere to run. We have men stationed throughout Akihabara. Wait, something clicks in my head. It was them. They sent the bomb threat. They stopped the chains. Why? To keep us here? Just for that? I don't want to hurt anyone. The 3 of you, come with us. Why? Karisu, who has kept silent until now, finally opens her mouth. Why just the 3 of us? That's when I realized that Mayuri wasn't included in Moeka's demand. She only wants Karisu, Daru, and me. I'm not answering your questions. Come with us. It's your only choice. We're not getting anywhere. Oh, Okarine. Daughter's voice is shaking. I turn my head to look at him. He is deathly pale.
とりあえず
Don't you think
言うこと
we
聞い
should
とくべ
do
き
what
じゃ
she
ね
says?
だが
But unless she tells me the
もう
reason,
言ってもらわないと
honestly, I have no idea what to do. My heart is still fluttering in my chest. This seems more like a dream than reality. I'm not a military otaku. I've never seen a real gun. The black shine of their weapons looks somehow tacky. They lack the imposing feel you expect. I'd believe her if she told me they were fake. Mayuri suddenly speaks up. Moeka-san, you're a lab mem too, aren't you? It's as if Mayuri asks my question for me. Moeka was a strange woman, but I welcomed her as a lab mem all the same. What is she thinking right now? In answer, Moeka pulls a gun from her belt and points it at us. I realize that Moeka isn't holding her phone. This is the first time I've seen her without it. Not like that matters now. Moeka's gun hand is trembling. Is this the situation? Is this situation affecting her mood too? It must be. She's terrified of talking to people.
一緒に来てもらうのは
Our mission
あなたたちの
is to
口を封
silence
じる
you.
ため
Silence
それ
us?
は
Your refusal to come
拒
will
否して
change
も変わ
nothing.
らない
Does that mean she plans to kill us? Why? What did we do?
一体
Who sent you?
誰の差し金だ
Who are you people?
私たちは
We? Moeka suddenly lifts her head. For perhaps the third time since I've known her, she looks straight at me. Her eyes are dark and empty.
セルンの
Are from CERN. CERN?
M4
M4. The dark-skinned man speaks up. Is he addressing Moeka?
口を慎め
Watch your tongue. Moeka hangs her head again. In my head, I replay the words she just spoke. CERN. They're from CERN. Why CERN? Of course. Who else could it be?
3人とも
Come with us, now.
一緒に来て
Moeka raises her voice in frustration.
これ以上拒否す
If you
るなら
continue to resist, I'll have to resort to extreme
行きた
measures.
くなるようにするから
Moeka slowly raises her gun. She points the muzzle at it. Mayuri. My whole body instantly goes cold.
椎名真由
Shina
は
Mayuri is not needed.
よせ
Stop! I lunge at Moeka, but the dark-skinned man is faster. Gah! Something strikes my chin with crushing force. The shock numbs my entire body. Stars explode behind my eyes. I fall to my knees, powerless to stand. Everything goes dark. What happened? Did he hit me with the butt of his rifle? Okarin! I look up. Mayuri, face streaked with tears, is reaching out to me as if begging for help. Over her shoulder, I see Moeka ready, her gun. Mayuri, no! I try to yell stop, but my voice catches in my throat. Nothing comes out but a pitiful wheeze. Someone, anyone, please, stop her. Stop Moeka! Moeka's lips move. She's mumbling something.
セルンのため
For CERN.
に
For FB. For CERN. For FB. Her mouth opens and closes robotically. My blood curdles. No! A sharp, dry crack splits the air. Time slows to a crawl. Moeka pulled the trigger. Blood spurts from Mary's forehead. It splashes across my face, wet and warm. Her delicate, frail body falls towards me. I catch her. Her body is limp, like a puppet with no strings. Her head and arms dangle lifelessly. The smell of gunpowder fills my nose, and then the smell of blood. Whoa! Haru clutches his head and falls to his knees, screaming at the top of his lungs. The sound jerks me back to my senses. In my arms, Mayuri takes one short, shallow breath. And then... Oh. Mayuri? No, No! No! She's dead. Mayuri's dead. Her face is covered in blood. Her blood stains my hands. It's warm.
もう一度言う。
You three come with us
3人と
now.
これ以上の警告は
No
し
more
抵抗
warnings.
するな
Resist, and we will kill you.
らあなたたちも
I
殺
hear
す
a voice, but I can't comprehend what it's saying. What is this? What's going on here? Is this a joke? We may have created a monster here. This is a dream, right? Right? I feel nothing. My mind is blank. I shake Mayuri's shoulders. Mayuri? Wake up, Mayuri. You'll catch cold if you sleep here. If you're tired, you can stay overnight. Or I can take you home if you prefer. We'll ride the train back to Ikebukuro together, like we used to before daughter joined, when it was just the two of us. Memories of her smile whirl through my head, 1,000 different smiles from 1,000 different locations. If I look away, she'll disappear. She always disappears.
もう
But now you're fine.
マユシー
You don't need me to be your
が
hostage
じゃな
anymore.
くても
No, Mayuri, I still need you. Laugh for me, like you always do. Greet me with your silly toot-toot. Tell me it's a lie. Tell me you're alright. Mayuri? Blood-curdling scream. Red flames consume my mind, an inferno of rage and hate, and the burning desire to kill everything I see. I gently lay the motionless Mayuri on the floor. I stand up, and then I fling myself at Moeka. Okabe! But before I can take a step, someone grabs my hand from behind. You can't! Let me go! Let me go! You can't! They'll kill you! Moeka's gun is aimed at my head. Her finger is already on the trigger. You gonna kill me too?
抵抗するな
If you resist. Please, Okabe, do what she says, okay?
ままじゃ
Otherwise, they'll kill you too.
あんた
I tear my hand from Kurusu's grip. My vision is a tunnel with Moeka on the other side. She won't get away with this. She killed Mayuri in cold blood. I'll do the same to her. No! Moeka pulls the trigger. The sound of the shot smites upon my eardrums. I feel a sharp pain on the side of my head. I nearly lose my balance again. But I'm still alive. What happened? I realize that Moeka's gun is lying at her feet. Beside it is a small stone. Someone must have thrown it and knocked her gun aside. Get down! Go! Suddenly, Suzuha is there in the doorway, knocking one man down in the blink of an eye. Before anyone can react, she darts into another man's range and delivers a piercing elbow strike to his solar plexus. The man drops to his knees, gasping for air. The remaining men turn their guns on her, but she throws an incapacitated man towards them to block their aim. She then slides into the feet of the man at the rear, tripping him forward, and in a single smooth, flowing motion drives her knee into the man's face as he falls. Who the hell? Dark-skinned man aims his rifle, but before he can fire, Suzuha snatches a stunned attacker's gun and shoots him. Blood spurts from the man's hand. Without pausing, Suzuha leaps into the air and delivers a soaring roundhouse kick to his jaw.
そこまで
Enough. The next thing I know, the 5 men are down and Moeka's gun is aimed at Suzuha's face. But Suzuha doesn't back down. Her gun is trained on Moeka's neck. It's a standoff. Neither moves. Silence returns to the room.
何者
Who are you?
42
42. Suzuha's reply makes no sense. She glances at me.
テレビ
DV. What is she saying?
点灯済み
Turned on.
何を
What? Suddenly, Kurisu springs up and makes a break for the development room.
動くな
そ
Don't move.
れはこっちの
That's
セリフ
my line. I suddenly realize the meaning of Suzuha's words. The 42-inch TV downstairs is on. She wants me to use the time leap machine? I look at Mayuri's body. She's lying there quietly. Her eyes are closed. They'll never open again. One of the men knocked out starts to moan. If they wake up, it's all over. Suzuo looks at me again. Her eyes implore me to make my move. If I use the machine, I can avert Mayuri's death. But at the same time, I could fry my brain. Fry my brain? So what? What is there to fear? Mayuri's dead, shot in cold blood. This isn't right. I won't accept it. Then change it. Change the past. You have the power. Use it. I stagger into the development room. Krisu is about to put on the headgear. I pull it away from her. Okabe. I'm going back. No, I should be the one to... I grab Krisu's wrist as she tries to take it back. I stare into her eyes wet with tears. I will save Mayuri. No, what if it fails? I ignore her and put on the headgear. Moeka's last shot grazed the side of my head. My ears are still ringing, and there's blood on my neck. It doesn't matter. I might fail. I might even die. But I have to try. It's my only chance to save Mayuri. Kurisu bites her lip and activates the X68000. Okabe Rintro! One of them's moving! Get in there! Kill them! Damn kids! The crew cut man staggers into the development room. Acting purely on instinct, I grab future gadget number 4, Moed's snake, from the shelf and flick the switch. White smoke instantly fills the room, rendering it impossible to see. Kill them! Ah! Kurisu! Okabe! Are you sure? Are you sure about this? Really? Do it, Kurisu! Activate the machine! Ah! Pain flares in my right arm. Was I shot? It doesn't matter. I see blue-white light shining through the smoke. The discharge is starting. The light rapidly grows brighter. The floor begins to shake. The singularity is open. I crouch down, holding the headset steady with one hand. Wait for me, Mayuri. I won't die here. I'll cross through time to save you. Leap, my memories. Leap to the past. The whole world explodes into light. And that is it for chapter 5. I have honestly no clue how far this run will get, but thanks for watching. I don't remember any of the phone triggers or anything like that, but I'll try my best. Thanks for being here, everybody, or for just existing. Love you, bye.